Prize team of the NFC, the 49ers, both 5-2. One of these teams will hold the lead after today. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton along with Wayne Walker, and the big story here surrounds Dwight Hicks, the Pro Bowl free safety who bolted the 49ers on Friday and has caused considerable consternation in the camp of the 49ers. It's a contract situation right now. We'll talk more about the psychological effects later on, but Wayne Walker, my partner, I've got to ask you about how it'll affect the 49ers on the field today.
A lot of juggling back in that defensive secondary. Ronnie Lott, their all-pro, who started at corner, went to strong safety, will play his first game at free safety. And Carlton Williamson, the regular for the last 2 years, who had been out with a broken leg, will make his first start of the season at strong safeties. They're going to be thin.
2 weeks ago, low-scoring game, 10-7. The Rams won it. What'll be the difference this time?
Well, it won't be 10-7. Both teams were a little jittery in that one. Bill Walsh will open up the offense in this one. He's got Wendell Tyler this time to play against his old teammates, the Rams. John Robinson, I would predict, will let Vince Ferragamo go downfield with the ball a lot to take advantage, if he can early, of Ronnie Lott and Carlton Williamson. Let's go to Dick now and get it underway.
All right, Wayne, and now you're looking at Ray Wersching, who has been very much a hero for the San Francisco 49ers this year. And last week, of course, he had 6 field goals. Henry Ellard, a rookie wide receiver, is at the goal line. The 49ers in white and the Rams in blue and gold in a series that goes back to 1950, and the Rams have a substantial lead.
That guy holding the football right there, Dick, Ray Wersching, the last 2 games these teams have played have hinged on his foot in the last minute of play. It's been that close.
And that block kick was his only miss this year. Ray Wersching has been kicking him deep. This time comes up short, and Ellard is on the 7-yard line, returning it. Ellard's got a lot of speed. And a great tackle by Dana McLemore perhaps saved even a bigger gain as Ellard brings it out to the 37-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Vince Ferragamo coming off his best game of the year. Eric Dickerson, David Hill in place of Mike Gooman at the U-back position. Preston Denard and George Farmer, the wide receivers. Bain, Hill, Smith, Hara, and Slater, who's having a Pro Bowl kind of year up front, and Mike Barber, the tight end. So Vince Ferragamo led the Rams to a Super Bowl, went to the Canadian League, MVP of the team last year. At the 37, going to the air on 1st down, and he has Denard into the 49er territory. 1st down.
Downfield right away by Ferragamo. Ronnie Lott, the free safety that time, blitzed from the outside, and Ferragamo went right into that vacated area. You see Lott on the blitz, right-hand side of your screen, go by Ferragamo at the end, and right in there open with no inside help is Eric Wright against Denard.
A 14-yard pickup, Preston Denard. 1st and 10 now at the San Francisco 49. And Ferragamo going up top again, this time with George Farmer. Wrestled out of bounds by Tim Collier, who's starting at left cornerback. But up front in the basic 3-4, Pillars, Kugler, and Dwayne Board up front. The linebackers, Harper and Turner outside. Ricky Ellison, who played at USC, he's a rookie. And Jack Reynolds, of course, the former Ram. Tim Collier at left corner, Wright at right corner. Of course, Carlton Williamson comes back at strong safety, and as Wayne Walker mentioned, Ronnie Lott playing his first game ever at free safety. There is Ronnie Lott, who has actually been out the last couple of weeks with a knee injury. He's got a tough situation to come back to. 2nd and 8 at the 47. In motion is Gordon Jones, and here's Eric Dickerson with his first carry and gets nowhere.
Carlton Williamson made that stop, Dick, the strong safety. He was a rookie the Super Bowl year for the 49ers, had a great season at strong safety. Again last year, was perhaps their most consistent player in that secondary. Broke his leg in the preseason, and this is his first shot at contact since early preseason. He's wearing a brace on his leg, has to wear an outside shoe. Regular size 12, but on that left shoe over there, I think it's size 14.
So that's Williamson, 3rd down and 6 at the 45 for the Rams, and an audible called by Ferragamo now at the line of scrimmage. Keeping it in the air again, Ferragamo's hit and he's dropped. Dropped back at the 48-yard line, and Fred Dean, who had 2 sacks last week against the Saints after not seeing much action the previous week, is in on this one.
Dean leads the team in sacks with 7, now has 8. He's working against the tackle. Bill Bain takes an inside rush on him. No one open for Ferragamo downfield, and Dean makes the sack.
So on 4th down, John Misko, the gangly 6'5" punter, and a pretty good one at that, will be kicking. Dana McLemore is back for the 49ers at the 12. It is not a good kick, but if it's not returned, it takes a Ram bounce. It'll get the job done, and it does. Look at that, 12-yard line, maybe the 11th. So you don't have to boom all of them, do you? A 41-yard kick and no return, and it'll be the 49ers going on offense for the first time when we come back. Bit of a hole here. The first time the 49ers have possession at the 11-yard line, 1st and 10. Montana did not practice Thursday because of a sore hamstring, but he did take part in workouts on Friday. Wendell Tyler, in his first carry against his former team, loses a yard. Nolan Cromwell forcing the play from the strong safety position. So Montana, Tyler, who's back in action, he played against the Saints last week. Roger Craig, Dwight Clark, Freddie Solomon are the wide receivers, and the offensive line, Paris, Ayers, Quillen, Cross, and Farnhorst, and the tight end, Russ Francis.
Tyler with a dislocated shoulder that he came back last week with against New Orleans, and says he's just about 100% now.
2nd down and 11 at, we'll call it the 10-yard line. Montana's completion percentage, tied with Lynn Dickey, tops in the conference. In motion goes Tyler. Montana inside his 5 throws, and it's dropped by Freddie Solomon. He was the intended receiver, and a bunch of Rams around him, including Eric Harris, who actually made the play. Let's talk about the Rams defense. Not big, but they are indeed physical. The veteran Jack Youngblood and Reggie Doss, who's having a fine year, are the ends, and Charlie DeJournay, the nose tackle. The linebackers, and they're all good. Owens, Collins, Eckern, and Andrews. And in the secondary, Eric Harris and Leroy Irvin at the corners, and Johnny Johnson, the fine free safety. Nolan Cromwell is the strong safety. It is now 3rd and 11 for Montana at his own 11. Swings it out, and Tyler can't grab a hold of it. So the Rams defense holds, and they love it here in Anaheim. They had the sellout just about an hour or so before, a half hour before the game. The first capacity crowd since the 49ers came here a year ago.
Probably a little jittery start out there for Wendell Tyler, making his first appearance back here as a 49er. He said he was nervous early in the week, but had calmed down some by Friday and yesterday when we talked to him. But he didn't pick up any yardage on his first try, and then dropped that short screen from Montana.
Tom Morris will have to do the kicking from his end zone. And the very dangerous Leroy Irvin is practically at midfield. He really loves this kind of situation where he has a chance to give the Rams at least ideal field position. Good kick by Orris will send Irvin back to his 40-yard line. Very fine kick. Here's Irvin. He got a block, and Bobby Leopold just throws him out of bounds at the 42-yard line, but Irvin got the Rams pretty good field position with an 18-yard return on that punt, and a good block by Johnny Johnson, we'll see.
Watch the return here now. Earl Cooper will be at the right here, screen number 89. He lost containment right here. See him spin outside. He lost his containment, and that got Irvin around the corner. Leopold makes the seal.
Leroy Irvin, a great return man and a starting cornerback, and with 11:49 to go in the first quarter, no score. Rams are in good position, however. Field position has favored the Rams so far, and let's see if LA can take advantage of it at the 49ers 42-yard line. David Hill, the U-back in motion, and Ferragamo going to the air and is going deep to Preston Denard. Intercepted by Eric Wright, and Wright decides to run it out. And is finally down at the 14-yard line on a ball that was off the hands of Preston Denard and picked off by Eric Wright. Doug Smith, the center, finally made the tackle.
You know, once in a while you do predict right, and we said at the top of this telecast that John Robinson may turn Ferragamo loose downfield against Lott, who's playing a free safety here. Eric Wright is on the coverage right here. This is just a great throw. It's right on the money. Denard's going to catch that 9 times out of 10. Better than that, but Wright ends up with the interception. So the Rams tried to get it all right there and had it. except for the bobble by Denard.
And for Eric Wright, this is his 5th interception of the year, and what a gift for him.
And somebody should have been telling him right there, stay in the end zone, because he made a dangerous move out of that end zone with a lot of traffic around him.
So Bill Walsh has to be thankful there, and so the field position turns around, and the 49ers will take over when we come back. A year ago, the Rams were 1-6 after 7 games. They've turned it around dramatically. The 49ers, who have the ball 1st and 10 at the 15, had a 2-5 record. Freddie Solomon comes in motion. Montana rolling and looking. Receivers are covered. And Solomon standing at the 20, knocked out of bounds. A pickup of 5 yards. Mel Owens, the outside linebacker, makes the stop on Freddie Solomon. Mel Owens, who's right behind Jack Youngblood in sacks, former #1 draft choice out of Michigan, and a follower of the supernatural and the occult.
Says he has ESP. He says there's sometimes in practice that he knows exactly what the offense is going to run. He says, I don't use it much in the games because I don't want to start guessing.
He had his first vision, he said, when he was 8 years old, so he's into it. Make no mistake about it. 2nd and 3 at the 22 now for San Francisco. Wendell Tyler breaks a tackle, has a first down and fumbles, and the Rams have recovered at the 40-yard line. Johnny Johnson recovers the fumble. Wayne, the one thing Bill Walsh was concerned about last week in his first appearance, of course, Wendell Tyler not getting hit that often for a while, coughing it up.
He's wearing a special brace. It's an injured left shoulder. He has the ball here in the right hand, but it's a fumble that when Wendell ordinarily does, he has the ball out a little bit, and somebody came in and stripped it away from him. It wasn't from contact. It was just an arm got on the football.
And it might have been Nolan Cromwell's arm. So far, this has been kind of a flat beginning for Wendell Tyler, as the Rams, following a turnover, will have it 1st and 10 on San Francisco's 40.
Wendell Tyler displaying the football for you in the open field. Now watch Nolan Cromwell, number 21, comes across and strips it away. Most of the time when Tyler fumbles, that's the reason. He's carrying it out a little bit from his body, and someone gets an arm or a hand on it, but it wasn't caused because of that injured shoulder.
And Johnny Johnson on the sidelines made the recovery. So the Rams now at the San Francisco 39. 1st and 10. David Hill, the U-back. And here's a reverse. Henry Ellard. And Ellard picks up 8 yards and make it 7 on the play. So the Rams with a fancy reverse on 1st down. Pick up 7. Fred Dean and Dwayne Board make the tackle. Let's pick up some scores in early action. The Washington Redskins over the Detroit Lions 38-17. Skins come back from that loss to Green Bay. They're in overtime in Green Bay, where the Vikings and Packers are battling. The Falcons lead the Jets 24-21 in the 4th quarter, and New England surprising Buffalo by a wide 31-0 margin. 2nd down and a long 2 at the 32. Ellard goes in motion, and Eric Dickerson spins his way for a 1st down inside the 30-yard line. The nose tackle Pete Kugler makes the tackle on Eric Dickerson. Miami over Baltimore by 3 touchdowns. Pittsburgh with an early lead over Seattle in the Kingdome. And Tampa Bay, winless, has a lead over the New Orleans Saints. Vince Ferragamo went to the air and responded with 23 completions last week against the Falcons, Wayne. Most this year. John Robinson was concerned that there was too much emphasis on a running game.
And said it was his best game. He doesn't want Ferragamo to quit attacking the other team's defense. That's why I let him go early in this game. 1st and 10 at the 28. Quick pass outside. Henry Ellard.
This is complete to Henry Ellard.
Has it just about inside the 20-yard line. Let's see where they spot the ball. They'll make it to 22. Tim Collier, the cornerback, makes the tackle. 2nd-round draft choice from Fresno State. And Ellard, one of these days, should take over as the starting flanker on the Rams. George Farmer currently holds that post.
Great speed and a fine open field runner after he gets the football.
Bill Walsh, a tough time the last couple of days dealing with the Dwight Hicks situation. Gordon Jones, number 25, replaces Ellard at wide receiver. 2nd and 4 at the 22. Jones comes in motion, and here's Dickerson looking for the hole, and a fine play by Carlton Williamson, who's already paying dividends, the former 3rd-round draft pick from Pitt.
Well, Williamson is one of the most physical defensive backs in the National Football League. He proved that last year and the year before. This is a great fill here. Dickerson scheduled to run left, diverts and goes right, and Williamson was filling the hole like a linebacker.
John Robinson, who said the one thing he missed about college football was the game that USC played yesterday at Notre Dame. Loved going to South Bend. But he likes it so far in L.A. with a 5-2 record. 3rd and 4 at the 22 for the Rams. In motion, Hill. Dickerson going outside. He's going to be stopped at the 20-yard line by Williamson once again.
Dick, that was the play that a couple of weeks ago up in San Francisco that really hurt the 49ers, with David Hill, the U-back, coming in motion and trapping over the middle, and Dickerson broke it for a couple of big yards. That time the 49ers were waiting for it, knew that they were going to see it at least a couple times, and played it well.
The wham.
The wham trap is exactly what it's called.
So Dickerson, who's leading the NFL in rushing after his lowest total of the year last week against Atlanta, goes to the sidelines, and Chuck Nelson will attempt a 38-yard field goal now, holding is Nolan Cromwell. Nelson has missed 4 field goals. He's had 2 of them blocked. High snap, it gets away from Cromwell. And Cromwell is hit by 3 49ers back at the 40-yard line. So a bad snap, and once again the 49ers survive poor field position. Ricky Ellison and Tom Homo stormed in on Cromwell.
Cromwell, the holder, and you see just a high snap. He had to come up for it, couldn't get control. Nelson can't do anything with it, and then it's a scramble, and the 2 rookies, Ellison and Homo, put the stop on. 50 is Ellison.
Well, the Rams have had 2 golden opportunities. They haven't been able to cash in, and now the 49ers are in decent field position at their own 40. Here at Anaheim Stadium, 7:32 remaining, first quarter, no score. 1st and 10 for San Francisco on their own 40. Easton Ramsden comes up tight to the line. Tyler and Roger Craig, and a fake, and going deep is Joe Montana to Freddie Solomon. Leroy Irvin was with him step for step. It's incomplete. So already, Wayne, we have seen both quarterbacks trying to do something they haven't been able to accomplish, and that's go for the deep ball.
And get the ball downfield. Play action that time, and Leroy Irvin, as number 47, was on Freddie Solomon that time. Now, I know that Montana would like to have this throw back. See the play action right here. Solomon streaking down the left sideline on Irvin. If Montana throws this ball to the inside, Solomon's going to catch it, but he threw it back to the sideline. Freddie had to make an adjustment. It came right over the top of his helmet, and that's the most difficult kind of catch to come up with.
Irvin seemed to injure his back on the play, and he's going to come out of there, and he'll be replaced by Monty Jackson, the veteran who was acquired from the Los Angeles Raiders for Pat Thomas. So Monty Jackson, who started at left corner last week, now replaces Leroy Irvin at the right side. 2nd down and 10 at the 40. Showing blitz. Here come the Rams, and the toss out to Dwight Clark, very close to a 1st down. And Jackson was defending on the play. Dwight Clark coming into this game tied for 3rd in receiving in the NFC. He's been the leading receiver the last 2 years in the league. Other scores. Kansas City defeats Houston in overtime. So the Oilers still have not won. Minnesota over Green Bay 20-17. A big win for the Vikes in that NFC Central. And New England over Buffalo 31-0. The Patriots coming back strong. 3 tight ends, Francis, Ramsden, and Cooper for the 49ers. 3rd and 1 yard. And Wendell Tyler, penalty marker down. And Tyler has the 1st down, but there was a penalty. Referee today is Red Cashin. There he is. Johnny Johnson makes the tackle for the Rams. And it'll be a legal procedure against San Francisco. So instead of a 1st down, it'll now be 3rd and 6.
I think it was Earl Cooper who was in motion that time, the 3rd tight end in the ball game, and was going towards the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped.
Those are the penalties you don't want to see when you have picked up the 1st down. Here's Red.
Illegal motion, turning up the field too soon. Number 89 of the offense, still 3rd down.
Wayne Walker, old Eagle Eyes, caught the tight end. Third down and 5 at the 45 now, and a long 5. No score. 6:38 remaining in the first quarter. Play action pass. Being chased is Montana by Dejournay, and his pass is complete to Dwight Clark. And now they say that it is a completed pass at the 45, and it'll be good for a first down.
And the official waved it off right at first, and now he's got the ball marked there.
So that is one of those timing plays that the two of them, Montana and Clark, have worked so very often.
Montana says, the minute I get in trouble, I look for Dwight, and he always adjusts to me, but he did such an excellent job right here of keeping both feet in bounds. Watch this lean. Fully extended and yet stays in.
An 11-yard gain, and it's the first down of the game for the 49ers. They're at the Ram 45. Play action again. Montana going up top to Russ Francis, the tight end. Nolan Cromwell was there, but the pass was high and overthrown. Nolan Cromwell, who is a strong safety this year after being a free safety for so many years and gaining Pro Bowl status. Atlanta leading in the fourth quarter, and Tampa Bay is now up 14-0 in the first quarter. Ronaldo Nehemiah and Mike Wilson are now the wide receivers. So Clark and Solomon get a breather right now. Second down and 10. Here's Tyler trying to cut inside, and Reggie Doss wouldn't let him get anywhere. Reggie Doss, only in his 6th year. We talked to him at the Ram practice yesterday, and he's one of the keys, one of the really big improvements on the Ram defense.
We asked John Robinson, who is some of the players that are having good years for you, and Reggie Doss was the first name he came up with.
Bill Walsh, John Robinson, two coaches who have made their stake out in the California area. Third down and 8 now at the 43. Gary Jeter, number 77, comes in as the fourth down lineman. Vince Newsom is a nickelback. Montana is down at the 49. Charlie Dejournay puts the seal on him, and so it's fourth down in a punting situation.
See what happened here. Montana looked like he tried to hand this ball forward to Wendell Tyler right here, and then Wendell didn't get it right. He turned around and looked. That was supposed to be a draw, and handing it forward to Wendell Tyler.
Tom Morris, who was a quarterback in high school, played at Ohio State, will be punting to Leroy Urban and Johnny Johnson. Johnson on the left, Urban on the right. Clock running, 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. No score here at Anaheim Stadium. Second meeting between the teams. Rams won the first 10-7. Morris gets off another good kick. And Johnson is inside the 10. And finally lunges out to the 15-yard line. Earl Cooper made the tackle. So the LA Rams go on offense. 42-yard kick by Tom Morris. And the poorest field position of the game so far for the LA Rams. 49ers, by the way, have won 7 straight road games and 14 of their last 15. Their last loss on the road was on natural grass against Denver last year. First and 10 for Ferragamo and company on the 15. Game last week. It's going up on top. Mike Barber, the tight end, has it, and also has a first down. They get Preston Denard with the catch. Denard with an 11-yard pickup. He was the leading receiver the last 2 years for the Rams, but comes in 6th this season in receiving.
And just a great throw here by number 15, Vince Ferragamo. The 49ers, their defensive secondary, to a man, think that Ferragamo is the most dangerous passer in the National Football League. They say he can throw any kind of pattern. He can throw the 15-yarder, the 25-yarder better than anyone, and he can also throw it deep. And so there are some guys that, you can relax with a little bit. They throw the good short stuff, but can't get it deep, but not Ferragamo. He can hit you every way, they say.
First and 10 at the 26 now for the Rams. Nearly 5 minutes remaining. Play action pass. And a deep drop by Ferragamo. He gets it out this time to his tight end, Mike Barber. And Barber carries out of bounds with another first down. Jack Reynolds makes the hit on Mike Barber, the leading receiver on the LA Rams. Max saw, doesn't talk much the week of a Ram game, does it?
No, he doesn't, but it's getting an old hat for him to come up here and play against these guys. It's his 5th game against them. Mike Barber, as Dick mentioned, Ferragamo's favorite receiver, and Barber has a lot of respect for Ferragamo. He said, I played with some good quarterbacks. Dan Pastorini, Kenny Stabler, Burt Jones in college. Ferragamo's as good as any of them.
Said that he has the best touch of any of those quarterbacks. So Ferragamo now 5 of 6 for 56 yards and 2 passes for first downs. Has the ball at his own 46. Otis Grant is in the game. Number 82 is a wide receiver. Kugler gets back in time, and here's Eric Dickerson with a good juke, goes inside and hit after picking up 9 yards at the 46-yard line of the 49ers by Ronnie Lott and Carlton Williamson, and you won't get hit by 2 tougher guys.
One of those situations where the over-anxiousness of the nose tackle, Pete Kugler, worked against him. He jumped off sides, came back, and was off balance. They wiped him out, a big hole for Dickerson. Williamson makes a hit 27, and then Lott was over, but not after big yardage.
Ronnie Lott, who started the year at left cornerback, played strong safety last week, and now is at free safety. He played some strong safety at USC, but never the free safety position. Barry Redden is into the ball game now, giving Dickerson a rest. He's number 30, the lone setback. And he gets to carry the first time he has it. And they have a first down. It was second down in less than a yard. Willie Harper, the outside linebacker, on the ground made the tackle. It is a first down for the Rams.
Dick Lott was talking about the difference of playing free safety and not having played there before. As you look at Eric Dickerson, Ronnie Lott said it's going to be tougher mentally for me than anything because I'm going to have to call out the formations and the defensive switches out there, and the Rams have a lot of it. He said, I'm more concerned about the mental aspect of being back there at free safety than I am the physical part of it.
Ron Meyer, the coach of the Patriots, said he was the best cornerback he'd ever seen play the game when the Niners beat the Patriots a few weeks ago. First and 10 at the 44. No score. First quarter. And here's a reverse and a fumble. Otis Grant trying to hold on to the ball and does at the 45. And Wayne, when we watched practice Friday, we saw that play develop in which Otis Grant was a passer. Pillars made the hit.
Pillars did a great job here of staying at home and playing this reverse. Now watch him right here, number 65, just gets an arm out, spins and gets in on the tackle. Pillars stayed at home and did a fine job.
Lawrence Pillars, most experience of any other defensive lineman other than Fred Dean, former New York Jet.
He was a starter there for the Jets.
Second down, 21 now at the 45 of the Rams. Trying to get back some of that yardage. Incomplete. Pass was intended for Mike Goulman, who's into the game for the first time. He's had a strained left knee and didn't practice it toward the end of the week.
See how much respect that the 49ers have also for the Rams running game. You know, second and long yardage at that time, and they still had their base defense in there with Ellison and Reynolds at the linebacker and didn't go with their nickel.
The Atlanta Falcons beat the New York Jets 27-21, so the Jets' woes continue, and the Falcons, after losing 4 in a row, get back to winning ways. It is third down now at 21. Richard Blackmore, number 44, is a nickel back. Nickel package in there now for San Francisco. That includes Ron Ferrari. Pressure on Ferragamo. His pass to Denard is complete. And Eric Wright brings him down at the 46-yard line, but some 12 yards shy of a first down. And it'll be fourth down, and John Misko will come in and punt for L.A. John Misko, who had tryouts and opportunities with the Bills and the Jets, second-year free agent before sticking with the Rams. Dana McLemore inside the 15. He had a terrific punt return last year against the Rams in the season finale. Eight seconds on the 30-second clock. High kick. Good for the coverage team. Getting out of bounds and going out of bounds. Well, next Saturday, the long-awaited debut in the professional ranks of Ralph Sampson, the San Antonio Spurs against the Houston Rockets.
You're going to have a lot of fun with a new partner down there, too, aren't you?
Yeah, we're pleased that former Celtic great Tommy Heinsohn has joined the CBS Sports family, and it's going to be a pretty good debut for Sampson. against the very physical Artis Gilmore. That's next Saturday at 3:45 Eastern right here on CBS. The NBA returns to CBS. That was a 19-yard kick by Misko, and now the Niners have it 1st and 10 on their own 27. In motion is Freddie Stalemate. And the pitch goes to Roger Craig. And the rookie from Nebraska picks up a couple of yards. Reaches virtually the 30-yard line.
Jack Youngblood right on the spot over there. There's a great battle going on between Youngblood, number 85, and Keith Fonhorst, number 71, the offensive tackle for the 49ers. This is the 20th time they've played against each other in their careers.
And Fonhorst says he never remembers ever dominating Jack Youngblood.
No, he says against other people in the league he can remember games he's dominated, but not Youngblood. Not at all, not one time.
2nd down, 7 at the 30. Roger Craig moving way outside. Montana fires it, knocked away by Leroy Irving. Dwight Clark was the intended receiver, and that was a textbook play by Leroy Irving.
Yeah, they had Dwight Clark well covered over there. Part of their success in that opening game was they played the zone to the side of the field Dwight Clark would be on every time. It was like kind of an automatic thing. If he came out to the left and they kind of double covered to that side, they almost did it that time. Look at Fonhorst, number 71, Youngblood, number 85, going at it right here. Fonhorst says that my jaws get tight when I know we're playing the Rams because I know I've got the tough job. He says, my wife doesn't even have to look at the schedule. She knows when I have to play against Youngblood.
Bill Ring comes into the ball game, number 30. He's the single setback. 3rd and 7 at the 30. Montana way back. Punts once and finds Eason Ramson, and he's hit immediately. So the Rams are hitting right now. That was George Andrews, the way they hit in that first game 2 weeks ago when the Niners couldn't really make any progress.
Roll out right here by Montana. Starts back, and then they call that a dash out to the right. He wants to go downfield deep. Nothing there, so he has to dump it off short here to Ramson, number 80. Double team this time on Youngblood. Fonhorst gets some help from Billy Ring, I think, the running back in there, and he'll take it anytime he can get it with number 85.
So on 4th down, Tom Orris will punt. The time showing 10 seconds to go. Leroy Irvin is back. And a good high kick. Irvin back at the 21-yard line. Gets ahead of steam. Hit once and drives forward to the 36-yard line, and that'll end the first quarter. So very few people figured that this game would resemble the first game. Bill Walsh, one of them. But after one period of play, we have no score. 2 weeks ago, it was scoreless at halftime.
It's a little bit more wide open, though, than it was a couple weeks ago up in San Francisco. But so far, the result is the same. San Francisco and the Rams are scoreless.
This is Dick Stockton along with Wayne Walker here at Anaheim Stadium, and a capacity crowd on a gorgeous afternoon in Southern California. No score as we start the second quarter. The Rams have the ball 1st and 10 on their 37-yard line. David Hill in motion. Ferragamo gets it out to Mike Barber. Barber gets hit, and now you don't often see that. Charges into Ronnie Lott, and the two of them are going at it. Briefly, but they went at it.
Mike Barber might be one of the most underrated players in the National Football League. A great, big, strong guy with exceptional speed. As you look at Ronnie Lott, number 42, who won't back down from anybody. Barber comes through. He said that Ferragamo, he knows whether there are people around him when Ferragamo delivers the ball. If he puts a lot on it, he feels he's going to get hit right after the catch. And Ferragamo puts it into him a little bit lighter, takes something off it. He knows he's going to be able to run after the throw. That time, Ferragamo bulleted it in there. Barber got hit, but broke some tackles.
Number 42.
Unnecessary roughness on both
fouls after
principals,
the play. They all
Barber
set.
and Ronnie
First
Lott.
down and 10.
It'll be a first down, though.
Barber across the middle, see him coming short, has his hand up, wants the ball. Runs over Eric right here. Here's lot number 42 showing up on the scene. And you can watch for yourself. Almost a tag team.
The crowd doesn't like the fact that Barber also got a piece of that penalty. 1st and 10 for the Rams on the 44. 6th first down for L.A. Mike Gooman in motion, and here's Dickerson. Going outside, head down, gets to the 40-yard line, and just like that picks up 4 yards. Keena Turner and Ricky Ellison, 2 linebackers, make the tackle.
Mike Gooman got a good block on Keena Turner that time. It was questionable whether Gooman, number 44, would play this week. He did not practice all week long, didn't even practice Friday when we were out there.
And a very valuable performer for the Rams because he is one of those players who's not flashy, but a superb blocker and an excellent receiver, and actually not a bad deep receiver at that.
Every coach loves him, too, because once he gets the ball, he holds on to it. He doesn't fumble.
2nd down and 6 at the 40-yard line. There's Wendell Tyler. In motion, Henry Ellard. And here's Dickerson. Dickerson gets to the 40 or the 37-yard line. Ricky Ellison makes the tackle on Eric Dickerson, who has scored 12 touchdowns this year. He leads the NFL with 12. The Rams' record is 17, set by Elroy Hirsch and Wendell Tyler.
Dickerson coming off. We asked John Robinson if he was afraid that they'd been using him too much. He had 178 carries coming into today's game, and Robinson said no, he doesn't show any signs of tiring down. He hasn't lost any weight at all.
The Rams are 0 for 3 in 3rd down conversions, and that's what they have now, a 3rd and 2 at the 36-yard line. Barry Redden is the running back. Ellard cuts through, and the quick toss out to the tight end Mike Barber, and Barber's going to have the 1st down inside the 30. Willie Harper finally brought him down. But Mike Barber, who was an unhappy football player at Houston, is overjoyed with what's going on in L.A.
Well, just a very simple slant-out pattern here by Barber. Ferragamo looks for him right away, doesn't want to go anywhere else. He's covered by the linebacker Harper. That's what Ferragamo wanted. That's what he got, and Barber does the rest.
Because the Rams do not have real solid wide receivers, many of them are young, the tight end figures more than ever into the offensive flow of L.A. Bill Walsh looking on, tied for first place, knowing the importance of this game, considering the fact that the Rams beat the Niners in their first meeting. 1st and 10 at the 28. Ferragamo pumps one way, and he's going deep for Henry Ellard. Penalty marker is down. And we may have an interference call, and around the 10-yard line, Tim Collier was covering Ellard.
They tried to get Collier to bite on that fake pump that Ferragamo made, and it worked.
They're bringing the ball back. The penalty apparently is against the 49ers. Maybe an illegal chuck.
Illegal contact. Number 47 on the defense. 1st down.
It was on Tim Collier, and it's an automatic 1st down inside the 25.
Yes, he bit a little bit on this pump fake right here as the pattern has run out, and now watch Collier's right arm. And he'll make contact right here, hold him back a little bit. That was the call. See that right arm on him?
You're looking at the fastest coverage man on the 49ers in Collier and the swiftest wide receiver, Ellard. 1st and 10 at the 23 now. David Hill in motion. Here's Eric Dickerson. With Hill blocking, Dickerson turns the corner and gets inside the 15-yard line. And another Ram 1st down. Eric Wright makes the tackle, and Dickerson's getting warmed up.
Well, and credit David Hill with an exceptional block on the outside linebacker, Keena Turner. David Hill playing the U-back or the move-back, the one that's always in motion. He came all the way across the formation. You see him right there on your screen. He'll end up out on the right side here and really sticks the block on Keena Turner. Stays with him and gets Dickerson around him.
He's got 35 yards in 8 carries. The rookie from SMU, who came into the game leading the NFL in rushing, touchdown scored, and carried. 1st down and 10 at the 13. And the biggest scoring threat we've seen so far today. 11:45 remaining in the 2nd quarter, still no score. Ferragamo up the middle, touchdown, George Farmer. Reception of the year for George Farmer, a 9th-round draft choice 3 years ago. He burned the 49ers last year, didn't he?
They ran a crossing pattern on this touchdown right here. Ferragamo waited for number 84 to come open, and this really put it in on a wire to him. That was a great, great throw to Farmer. And And yes, you are right. Farmer had some good games toward the end of last year. He had a big game in that game that Ferragamo threw for over 500 yards. At the end of last year, George Farmer was Ferragamo's favorite receiver.
There's an injured 49er on the field, and it appears to be Tim Collier in the end zone. The Rams lead at 6-0 on a 13-yard touchdown pass from Vince Ferragamo to George Farmer.
Watch Ferragamo here now. Waiting, and then almost changed his mind. Looked like he did. Went to Farmer as kind of a second thought of the crossing guy. He wanted to go deep to the guy that was crossing deep, but changed his mind at the end, went to Farmer, and had it right on the money.
You see that banner, Tampa bound? I'll tell you, no one ever thought, as Collier is helped off the field, that they'd ever be with that kind of bed sheet this year.
Well, this is an area right here that could be disastrous for the 49ers, with Dwight Hicks not here because of contract problems. Didn't make the trip, and of course not playing. With a couple injuries in the secondary, could really put them in a bind back there.
I think his own man ran into him in the end zone on that coverage play. Meanwhile, with Nolan Cromwell holding, Chuck Nelson will attempt a conversion. He is 18 of 20 this year and has had one block. 6-0 for the Rams. And now it's 7-0.
We'll look at the touchdown again from ground level here. Watch Ferragamo made a brilliant adjustment. He had two people crossing, one deep, one short. Decided to go here for Farmer when he spotted him on the linebacker Ellison, and had it right on the shelf.
For Ferragamo, his 8th touchdown pass of this season. He's thrown 12 interceptions. The numbers aren't pretty, but he's getting the job done as the Rams lead it 7-0. The scoring drive. 11:35 remaining in the first half, and the 4th-round draft pick from Washington, Chuck Nelson, getting set to kick off. Bill Ring and Dana McLemore are deep, and it's McLemore at the 6. McLemore puts on the speed, and a superb run back beyond the 40-yard line for Dana McLemore, tackled by Otis Grant. Well, in the NFL today, the Miami Dolphins leading Baltimore 21-7 in the 4th quarter. New England surprised Buffalo 31-0. So Miami, if they hold on, will end up in a tie with the Bills for first place in the AFC East. And a collision next Sunday as part of our doubleheader that many of you will see, beginning with the NFL today, the LA Rams against the Miami Dolphins. Roger Craig slices inside to the 46-yard line and picks up about 4. Jimmy Collins, the inside linebacker, makes the tackle. And Collier on the bench now, getting his bearings back. And next to him, Ronnie Lott on the left. 2nd down and 6 at the 46. 7-0. The Rams lead. The first down story dramatically in favor of Los Angeles. Joe Montana has hit 4 of 9 passes for 31 yards. And this is Craig off the right side, has a first down. So a counter play. Roger Craig, Bill Walsh has a lot of hopes for, was drafted as a blocking back with Wendell Tyler coming aboard. And with Tyler out, Craig had a chance to do some running of his own, and last week ran 71 yards in a big game.
He was their top draft choice, although he came in the 2nd round. They didn't have a number 1 choice last year. He played fullback at Nebraska the past 2 years, but at one time was a tailback and has good speed, good size, and Walsh thinks he's going to be a good runner.
He has 14 yards in 3 carries. First down and 10 at the Ram 47. Quick toss. Mike Wilson. Hit immediately by Cromwell and Johnny Johnson, make it Eric Harris and Cromwell. But they'll get almost 5 yards on the play, maybe even more. Eric Harris, who is now the left cornerback, acquired from Kansas City, was a starter for 3 years with the Chiefs. Former number 1 draft choice.
I think it's quite strange now with the 49ers. You've noticed the Rams have been trying to get the ball downfield quite a lot to their wide receivers. Montana has done that just once to Solomon and overthrew him and had him open. I'd be surprised on this series if he doesn't come down and try to get 6 points all of a sudden.
2nd down 4 at the 41-yard line. Play action pass. Montana looks right, goes left, And he hits Russ Francis inside the 30 for another first down. To the 27. Russ Francis, Johnny Johnson, and Jim Collins make the tackle. Francis's biggest asset so far this year has been as a blocker. He picks up 14 there. It was Francis along with Eason Ramsden who had their problems fumbling inside the 20-yard line against the Rams 2 weeks ago. First and 10, Niners at the Ram 28. And the pitch to Wendell Tyler. We call him Wendell, but actually he prefers to be called Wendell, and his mother's name is Uridell. So he says, you know, my mom's name is Uridell, originally from Shreveport, Louisiana, went to high school at Crenshaw High in Los Angeles, so he likes Wendell. So Miami beats Baltimore, so that sets up the confrontation between the Dolphins and these Rams in the second part of our doubleheader next week on CBS. Pittsburgh now 14-0 over Seattle. New Orleans coming back against Tampa Bay. Second down, 6 at the 24. Tyler is out of the game, and Craig comes in, and here's Roger Craig off the left side. Roger Craig is going inside the 5-yard line. Quick acceleration by Craig. Andrews brings him down to prevent the touchdown.
Bubba Paris, the left tackle, John Ayers, the left guard over there. Great jobs on that side. They had it wiped out, and Craig scrapes right off a block here. Gets to the open, and then shows you what we were just talking about, what Bill Walsh thinks of him. He can run.
As you mentioned at the top of our broadcast, the one element that the 49ers didn't have, Tyler's presence, and of course Andrews. Jimmy Collins comes off the field, shaken up. Ivory Sully is into the ball game on first and goal at the 4. There's Collins. Jim Youngblood replaces it. Craig has a touchdown. That's the best segment of running we have seen Roger Craig do in this his rookie year with the 49ers, and his third touchdown rushing of the year. It's a 7-6 game.
Excellent surge by the offensive line of the 49ers. That almost, they got enough people over there, and I can't see it until we could stop that. It almost looked like it might have been an unbalanced line with Keith Fahnhorst from right tackle over on the left. I'm not sure about that, but it could have been that time.
Harris and Fahnhorst make quite a combination on the left side. So Wersching, with Montana holding, will try to tie the game. And he does. So 7:38 to go in the first half, and we have a tie.
Let's look end zone now, and look to Montana's left, and you can count the linemen along with me. 68 is Ayers. Who else do we see over there? Paris is 77. No, it wasn't unbalanced. It was just a great wipeout job by Bubba Paris, who blocked down and took out about 2 people.
So there is Roger Craig out of the University of Nebraska. First draft pick on the second round by the Niners this year. So after a scoreless first quarter, we have a 7-7 game and the 49ers scoring drive. Ray Wersching will be kicking off, and Henry Ellard is the deepest of the deep receivers for Los Angeles. Barry Redden and Robert Alexander nearby, but there is Henry Ellard with good speed. A line drive kick, and Redden will field it at the 6-yard line and goes down the sideline. And Barry Redden brings it out nicely to the 32-yard line. Dan Bunz, just activated, makes the tackle. Well, next Saturday we have that Big Ten showdown. Michigan and Illinois beginning at 12 o'clock Eastern time.
What, for years they said the Big Ten was the Big Two, Ohio State and Michigan, but Illinois and Iowa are in there now, and Illinois under Mike White especially tough.
Bo Schembechler of the Wolverines, the Fighting Illini. Mike White, Illinois beat Purdue handily yesterday. Michigan beat Iowa on a 45-yard field goal with seconds remaining. Should be a terrific matchup. Joe Montana waiting and watching. First and 10 Rams on the 31-yard line. In motion goes David Hill. The pitch to Dickerson. Cutting away. Open field. Dickerson. And they can't bring him down until he gets to the 45 of San Francisco. Lawrence Pillars and Carlton Williamson after a 24-yard gain by Dickerson, his best run of the day.
And just a great adjustment, too, by Dickerson. This play was designed to go off left tackle. Watch it right here. He makes a cut right here, spots a hole, and uses his speed to get downfield. We said a couple weeks ago he's just a time bomb. You can stop him for a while, but sooner or later he's going to bust one on you.
59 yards now and 9 carries for Eric Dickerson. By the way, Tim Collier had the wind knocked out of him, is on the field and playing again. 1st and 10 at the 45. Barry Redden is the setback. Play action pass for Ferragamo. Pass is incomplete. David Hill, the intended receiver, as Williamson and Ellison covering for the 49ers. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Rams and the National Football League is prohibited. Here is David Hill, who's had a reawakening coming from Detroit for the Rams.
Yeah, he said he loves it. He said he would have played any position on the field to get here. And he's playing that U-back for the Rams and doing a great job.
2nd and 10 at the 45. 6:27 remaining. Hill goes in motion. 7-7 to score. Barry Redden bobbled the pitch. Breaks the tackle. And takes it to the 41-yard line and picks up 4 yards anyway. Tina Turner makes the tackle. Ronnie Lott was the first to try to get to Barry Redden and missed him.
You know, you don't drop off a whole lot when you go to Barry Redden. He was their #1 draft choice a year ago out of Richmond. Was injured early in the year and really didn't get a chance to show too much. But he's a fine backup for Eric Dickerson.
Here's Vince Ferragamo, who's, by the way, the only starting NFL quarterback who's still going to school. He spends 6.5 hours on his day off at the Southern California School of Optometry in Fullerton. He's a busy man. 3rd and 6 at the 41. Dickerson back in there. And Ellard goes in motion. On 3rd down, the pass is caught by Gordon Jones, and Jones spins away to the 25. A whirling dervish, Gordon Jones gets 24 yards and a 1st down at the 17 of the Niners.
3 wide receivers on the same side of the field that time. Jones down about 10 yards and then ran across the field looking for an open spot. Got it. Ferragamo got it to him, and then Jones got a whole lot on his own. He was a #2 draft choice for Tampa Bay. Started some there, All-American at the University of Pittsburgh, and another pretty good backup for John Robinson here.
He was a starter at Tampa Bay, and looks like he had the wind knocked out of him a bit. Good blocker, good short yardage receiver. Gilman moves to the wing back. 1st and 10 at the 17. Gilman in motion, and here's Dickerson. And fine tackle by Carlton Williamson again, who's been able to penetrate several times this afternoon, and he made another fine play on Eric Dickerson.
As we mentioned, that he came back from a leg injury. Actually broke his left leg in a preseason game. No question about whether he can play. The question is whether that leg will hold up. It's one of those 100% things. He's either got to have no pain at all to play. If he has any pain at all, they're going to bring him out. You see that brace, a kind of a bulky thing there on the left that he's wearing under that left sock, and an oversized shoe on the left side. It's critical for the 49ers for him to stay in there.
Williamson was the back that Dwight Hicks called when he decided that he was going to leave the team. And of course it was Williamson who told Ray Rhodes, the defensive backfield coach of the 49ers. So Dwight Hicks, as we told you, left the team Friday. He's not here. We have a tie score with 3:54 to go in the 2nd quarter. So what the Rams have done in the first 7 games in comparison to last year is rushing more because of Eric Dickerson, but a better defense against the run. And that may be, the two may go hand in hand with the improvement.
I think they do. You get more chances with the ball when your defense is playing good.
Ferragamo hit George Farmer with a 13-yard catch. 7-0 Rams, and then Roger Craig went over from 4 yards out. That's where we stand, 7-7. With 2nd and 10 for the Rams on the San Francisco 17. Mike Gilman goes in motion. Ferragamo's pass to Mike Barber. Barber trying to get away and does. And Barber gets to the 7-yard line. That was Tim Collier defending on the play. Carlton Williamson, who got Dickerson before, couldn't get a hold on Barber.
Barber's caught how many passes today, and I don't think the first guy has got him down yet. He always breaks the first tackle. For 86 right here with Williamson, 27, and he'll break away with his strength and using his straight arm, and is finally knocked out of bounds by Collier.
Mike Barber has 4 catches today for 56 yards. He has deceptive speed. He knew it back in the 7th grade when he scored 5 touchdowns in the first game he ever played as a kid, and they said, "Why don't you run more?" He said, "Well, no one's caught me."
Why don't you run faster? He said it was because he was always so big, it didn't look like he was running fast, but he can move.
He sure can. 3rd and 1 at the 7. 3 tight ends in there for the Rams. Dickerson going outside and is hit at the 5 and has the first down. He had to go wide. Tim Collier made the tackle, but they got the job done, and now the Rams have a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line.
Dickerson is one of those great backs, Dick, that those guys on defense and that defensive huddle, when they line up and they see him in the backfield, they've got to be nervous every time he touches the ball because he can slash and score from anywhere on the field.
62 yards and 11 carries for Eric Dickerson. Ferragamo's 11 for 14 passing with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Winding down to 3 minutes remaining in the first half. 7-7 the score. Newman comes in motion to pitch to Dickerson. Dickerson going outside. Is stopped short of the goal line. Out of bounds at the 1.5. Tim Collier and Ronnie Lott forcing the play.
Watch the play here of number 27, Carlton Williamson. Watch him string this out and dive in and take a guard out, Dennis Hara, and leave it open for Collier to make the play. So Carlton Williamson is showing up at the point of attack and playing extremely well for not having any contact for a long time.
Leading tacklers are in the secondary you'll find on this 49er team, and Bill Walsh has said of Williamson, he's the single biggest factor in the development of the young secondary. Remember 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl, they had 3 rookies and Dwight Hicks, and Williamson was one of those rookies. 2nd and goal at the 1. Goop goes in motion. Ferragamo looking up the middle. Touchdown. James McDonald, former basketball player at Southern Cal. That's his first NFL reception, and he gets a touchdown.
And he's going to keep that football, but he's got tucked under the left arm. You know that. That was just a great look-off, though, by Ferragamo. Ferragamo stared down over to the right for a long, long time. And then at the last minute, came back left over the middle and got it to McDonald. McDonald, as Dick said, was a basketball player at USC, did not play football.
Cromwell will hold. Nelson will attempt.
Cromwell will hold for Chuck Nelson. 2 minutes, 48 seconds remaining in the first half. It's 13-7 in favor of the Rams. And it's now 14-7.
Watch Ferragamo now. Watch his head and eyes. Play action. He'll be looking to the right. He stays to the right. Still staying to the right. Comes back over here. Makes another adjustment. Makes about 3 reads on this pass. And gets it to McDonald, who, as we said, didn't play college football, but his coach John Robinson said that he fully expects him to be a Pro Bowl player maybe as soon as 3 or 4 years.
And he doesn't say that about many. There's a young man we've been talking about, James McDonald, 6'5", 230 pounds, with good hands. He can run and he can block. His first NFL reception is a touchdown, and he'll remember that one.
John Robinson said that he tried to get him to come out for football when he was coaching at USC.
Chuck Nelson, who has added 2 conversions, kicking off to Dana McLemore at the 6. He had a good return before, nothing doing this time as he is hit and hit hard at the 20 by Mike Wiltshire. There's a scoring drive, took nearly 5 minutes, and the longest scoring drive of the game thus far. And already we have had more points scored here in this first half than we did in the entire game 2 weeks ago at Candlestick. Tampa Bay lead at one time 14-0, now 14-10 over the Saints. They're in the second quarter. Pittsburgh ahead of Seattle. 1st and 10 on the 20. Joe Montana, 6 of 11 so far for 50 yards passing. to go to the air for the 12th time. And he finds Wendell Tyler at the 26. The whistle had blown, and they pick up 5. Jimmy Collins, who was shaken up before, back in the game, makes the stop on Wendell.
I think it's Wendell Tyler's left shoulder that is the problem for him, that was dislocated. As I said, they have a harness. Last week when he returned against New Orleans for the pregame announcements, when they introduced the starting offensive team, he came out and was waving his right arm like he was apparently trying to loosen it up, and he was trying to get the Saints to think that that was the shoulder that was bothering him.
Well, one thing he can't do is reach too high for the catches. That's one thing the harness prevents him from doing. And now we have our 2-minute warning and a chance for Montana to go to the sideline to talk things over with Bill Walsh. So our 2-minute warning with the Rams leading the 49ers 14-7. And next to him, the veteran Bill Bain in left tackle. Meanwhile, the 49ers have 2nd and 2 at the 28. 49ers have rushed for 47 yards on 10 carries. Gary Jeter into the game. Roger Craig going outside has a first down. And all of a sudden, Wayne, he's becoming a very tough back to bring down. As he gets the first down at the 39, Eric Harris makes the stop.
It's almost like so far they've been using Wendell Tyler as a decoy, although Craig is in a kind of an ace backfield situation now. He's the lone remaining back.
He has gained 49 yards. He's the leading rusher, and this pass wide open is Freddie Solomon, a first down at the 40, and it also stops the clock with 1:32 remaining. So first down for the 49ers just inside the 40-yard line. 49ers have 3 timeouts remaining in this first half. The Rams used one of theirs. And of course, Joe Montana can bring a team down the field in a hurry. Draw play. Doesn't work. The Rams read it perfectly. Roger Craig stopped in his tracks by Mel Owens. Clock running now. 49ers lining up, not using a timeout here. 2nd and 13. Nehemiah in the game is a wide receiver to the left. This pass is caught by Freddie Solomon, and Solomon has a first down at the 25.
I think the 49ers have 3 wide receivers in the game. They have Nehemiah and Solomon out at the flanks at the wide receiver post, and Dwight Clark, another wide receiver, is playing the tight end spot now. That's Solomon that's down.
A 17-yard pickup, and Freddie Solomon is indeed shaken up. The clock stops with 1:01, and the 49ers did indeed call a timeout. Freddie is pretty tough. He is an excellent downfield blocker, as we've said. He's a former quarterback at college at Tampa, and durable.
Well, he's been around a long time, 9 years in the league. He has been the 49ers' big play man this year. Most of the deep passes have gone to him.
In fact, his average yards per catch is the highest that it's been in his 9-year career. He goes off on his own power. Mike Wilson, number 85, also goes off. So we see Wendell Tyler out there. With Solomon getting a breather. 1:01 remaining in the first half. Joe Montana 9 of 14 for 96 yards. Nehemiah and Clark will be the wide receivers. First and 10 at the 26-yard line. 14-7, the Rams lead. The 49ers trying to tie it up. Montana going up top to Clark. Knocked away. Great double team. It was Johnson and Irvin, but I believe it was Leroy Irvin who knocked the ball away.
It was. It looked like it was going to get in between the two of them, but right at the end, number 47, Leroy Irvin, swooped in, timed it perfectly, and got a hand on the ball. Clark open right here, but watch Irvin close when the ball is in the air, reach up and get a hand on it.
Leroy Irvin has made 2 picture plays in the secondary. Defending on passes so far. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and 54 seconds, as you see, remaining in the half. Solomon is back in the game. He's caught 3 passes, and he's wide to the left. To the 20-yard line. Wendell Tyler on the receiving end It'll be 3rd down and 4. And now the 49ers are going to use up another timeout, leaving them with 1. So with 45 seconds remaining in the first half, and Walsh checking his play chart, the Niners have called another timeout. '49ers have 1 timeout remaining. 3rd down and 3. Of course, San Francisco is in field goal range if they don't get the first down right here. Want to remind you, coming up at halftime, Brendan Irv will have scores and highlights from the early games around the league. One of the big surprises, New England's victory over Buffalo. And Miami Dolphins winning, moving into a tie for first in the AFC East, and it'll be the Rams against the Dolphins. It's part of our doubleheader action next Sunday on CBS.
Dick, I would fully imagine that the play called here by Bill Walsh in Montana will be to pick up the first down, not try to get the 6 points.
Earl Cooper, number 89, is the tight end right now. In motion goes Wendell Tyler. And Montana's toss is caught by Cooper. And do they rule it a catch? They do. It is a reception. And he's also out of bounds. So that's double jeopardy to the Rams because it is a first down, I believe, and it also stops the clock.
Earl Cooper, the converted running back, makes the catch here. He was trying to get across that marker for the first down. Didn't quite do it. Eric Harris, number 26, ran him out of bounds.
It is 4th down and less than a yard. The ball fumbled out of bounds. So Bill Walsh, with a decision on 4th and less than a yard, is going for it here with 39 seconds to go in the first half and 1 timeout remaining. Tyler and Craig are the setbacks. And Montana takes it himself, and he has a first down, I believe, at the 15. We have an official's timeout right now. It is a first down. Montana on the keeper. They stop the clock with 35 seconds.
Official's timeout to get everybody untangled. They have to move the yard markers. And he'll wind it up here. 49ers are ready to go as soon as he does.
Don't forget, last week the 49ers were stopped on a quarterback sneak at the goal line by the Saints. They made it this time. 1st and 10. And Montana, looking to the end zone, takes off and throws. Touchdown, Dwight Clark.
Boy, just an incredible play by Montana, as he has done so many times over the past 3 or 4 years for the 49ers. Got himself out of trouble and then threw a strike on the run, making something out of absolutely nothing. He got it between 2 defenders down there to Clark in the end zone with something on it. This is the toughest thing to do now. He's a right-hander and he's running to his left. He's going to pull up and throw here on the run, and look how much he gets on the ball, throwing it on the run. Running to his left. Amazing play by Joe Montana.
And Dwight Clark with his 5th touchdown reception of the year. He has caught 3 passes in this game, and his best was against the Rams earlier this year. Ray Wershing ties the game with a conversion with 24 seconds to go. So Bill Walsh, in kind of a gamble on 4th and less than a yard, went for it on a Montana keeper. Got the first down, and then Montana himself hooking up with his favorite receiver, Clark. The preceding message was brought to you by the National Football League. Dick Stockton and Wayne Walker in a 14-14 game between the 49ers and the Rams. We have 24 seconds to go as you look at the scoring drive. And Montana did it in a hurry, capping it with a nifty pass to Dwight Clark, 15 yards. So we've had 4 drives and 4 touchdowns in this period. Picked up by Barry Redden. And Barry Redden carries several 49ers with him to the 35-yard line, and enough time for the Rams to do some business of their own. Cooper finally brought him down, but not before Barry Redden returns the kickoff 43 yards.
Redden is a player. We warned you earlier that he is a good one. When he was a senior in college, he ranked only behind Marcus Allen and Herschel Walker in yards gained and NCAA rushing. 5'10", 210 pounds, tough to bring down, as you see.
Tom Homo had a hold of his jersey for several yards. And that's the Rams' longest kickoff return this year. Redden was their kickoff return leader last season. The timeout story with 16 seconds to go. 1st and 10 at the San Francisco 37 for Vince Ferragamo. Maybe one play, a pass play, and then try to get a field goal out of this. Ferragamo loops it to Dickerson. On the receiving end, Eric Dickerson to the 20. And Dickerson's going to go all the way. Touchdown! Wayne, there's no need to think field goal when you have Eric Dickerson on your side.
When you got a weapon like that and you're in a crucial spot in the ball game, you should go to him, and they did, and he turned out what probably normally would have been a 5 to 12 yard gain for most backs into a touchdown with his ability.
And Chuck Nelson with Cromwell holding puts the Rams up 21-14, and they got that on one play, a 37-yard touchdown, pass and run.
Dickerson is in the backfield. He's checking to see if there's a blitz. None coming, so he slips out. Just a little slip flare, they call it. Reynolds missed him, and right now it's just all speed. It's going to be a race between Dickerson and Carlton Williamson, number 27, and Dickerson will win.
His first touchdown of the year, receiving his 13th overall. Top draft pick in a choice acquired from Houston. Eric Dickerson out of SMU.
They traded up to make sure that they would get him. They didn't want to take any chances. Although they figured he might be available when they would originally draft, they took no chances.
And a fellow who has handled the media blitz with a maturity beyond his 23 years. He is a very stable person. In fact, a very simple lifestyle, lives in an apartment in Southern California, doesn't have a television yet, and didn't buy a new car. So he's really out of the ordinary.
He's trying to look for a free television. I bet you he can get a bundle of them.
Couple of them. So Dickerson puts the Rams in front with 6 seconds remaining on a terrific run. After the reception, it's 21-14, and Nelson will kick off. So like last week when the 49ers were a bit dazed going into the dressing room at halftime, it'll be the same story again this time, perhaps. On the ground, the McLemore side, and Dana at the 5. Is tackled at the 19 as the clock runs out. And listen to the cheers as the capacity crowd here in Anaheim, California, appreciate what the Rams have done. And now we have 1 second to go. They got him just before the half ended. Hold the cheers, but they're coming.
49ers might go to a situation where they put 2 or 3 receivers, wide receivers on one side of the field and then throw a bomb, but they may be content just to let it run down here with a running play.
Well, Wayne, we've seen 35 points scored in the second quarter after a scoreless first quarter. I wonder if we'll get up to 48-47. And Wendell Tyler carrying on the final play, knocked out of bounds, and that is indeed the end of the first half. That's the end of the first half here in Anaheim with the score. The Rams 21 and the 49ers 14. Back at Anaheim Stadium, the Los Angeles Rams are leading the San Francisco 49ers 21-14 at halftime. Dick Stockton along with Wayne Walker here. And John Robinson has been concerned that the Rams would not be a one-dimensional team on offense, understandably so with Eric Dickerson, and today they're not, as they were not last week.
No, they've really opened it up. Ferragamo coming off his best game last week. He told us earlier in the year that it would take him some time to adjust to the single-back offense, plus the fact that he had Henry Allard and Preston Denard out for a while early in the season. They're just now starting to match up and doing a good job of it.
It was 14-7 in favor of the Rams late in the first half, and the 49ers tied it up on this play, Montana to Clark.
We talked about the great effort by Joe Montana getting out of problem and then throwing on the dead run to the left, and Clark also did a good job here catching the ball in the end zone. He was sandwiched by Johnny Johnson and Leroy Irvin, but held on.
That was with 24 seconds to go. A 43-yard kickoff return by Barry Redden, and then this.
One good play deserves another. Number 29, Dickerson, a little check flare out of the backfield after the 49ers weren't blitzing. He had no job but to just kind of drift out. Ferragamo got him the ball, and then he just used his great ability to outrun everybody.
First touchdown in the NFL on the receiving end, and that was with 6 seconds left, and that's the difference. The Rams lead the 49ers 21-14, and we'll be back for the second half kickoff when we come back.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota's new cars and trucks for 1984. Toyota invites you to see them at your local dealer. The Pabst Brewing Company, brewers of Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. For the real taste of beer, Pabst is the place. And by Wang, the office automation computer people.
We've had a contrast between the first two quarters. In the first 15-minute session, there were 4 punts and 2 turnovers. In the second quarter, 5 straight touchdowns were scored. And, of course, the last one, as you saw, Ferragamo to Dickerson covered 37 yards with 6 seconds remaining. And it's 21-14 as Chuck Nelson, the rookie, kicking off to Dana McLemore and Bill Ring. And you see they're in a kind of an I formation and will break when the ball's in the air.
And they'll want McLemore to handle it and Ring, number 30, be the blocker.
Right. Sellout crowd here in Anaheim, California. First place at stake in the NFC West. Both teams coming in with records of 5-2. Vast turnaround from last year when both clubs slumped. The Rams ended up 2-7 on the year, and the 49ers were denied a playoff berth by the Rams in the final game of the regular season. Nelson with the second half kickoff, and it's heading over to McLemore at the 1. Former University of Hawaii star, head down, moves it out to the 25-yard line. Taking a look at halftime statistics, bit of a surprise that the Rams, and you talked about Ferragamo, would have the passing edge on the Niners.
They do. I think it points out the fact that John Robinson, with the offensive line that he has at Los Angeles, can do just about anything, and that's the key to it. They're very good on the run, and that's proven because of what Dickerson has done right there. You see the comparison with Wendell Tyler's stats, but they also pass block very well for Ferragamo, who hasn't been under much pressure.
So Joe Montana brings his team out, 1st and 10 at the 25. In motion is Freddie Solomon, and here's Wendell Tyler. Tyler up for a couple of yards. In last year's games, playing for the Rams against the 49ers, Tyler scored 5 touchdowns. He stopped here by the nose tackle Charles Desjardins.
And I think they'll want him to get the ball a little bit more in the second half than he did in the first.
Desjardins, who formerly played at San Diego, was a 17th round draft choice. He's in his 7th year. Second down and 6 at the 29. Jeff Moore replaces Tyler in the lineup. Solomon goes in motion outside, and Montana's pass to Dwight Clark, good for a first down. Cromwell hit him immediately, but the Niners are at the 36, 1st and 10.
Clark on the outside. You see Solomon in motion. This is his range right in here. He goes down, finds an open spot. He doesn't have any set patterns to run. He kind of improvises his patterns on the way downfield depending on what the defense is playing and what they give him. And Montana waits for him to come open.
1st and 10 at the 36. Opening minute of this third quarter. Tyler replaces Moore again. Leading rusher was Roger Craig in the first half. Tyler gets the ball again and loses the ball. Fumble. And it's the Rams. Rams recover. Mel Owens, outside linebacker, recovered the fumble after a hit by the right end Reggie Doss, and Tyler in what has so far been an inauspicious return to action against the Rams, fumble. That's the second time.
Reggie Doss, number 71, the right defensive end for the Rams, comes down inside. You'll see him right here. Reach across and once again strip the ball away from Wendell Tyler.
So that'll give the Rams Pretty decent field position now at the 38-yard line. Reggie Doss making the hit, and Ferragamo with his team up 21-14. And Dickerson, the running back. Ferragamo is hit. Willie Harper. Been with the 49ers longer than anyone. This is his 10th year with his sack.
Harper on the blitz, but you can credit the defensive secondary with this sack. Ferragamo had a lot of time here before his protection broke down, but nobody could come open. Harper fought through a block by Dickerson to make the sack.
That's the second quarterback sack today by the 49ers. They did not get to Ferragamo at all in the first meeting 2 weeks ago. Second down and 18 at the 46-yard line. Gordon Jones, number 25, is in as wide receiver. Ferragamo going up on top. He's looking for Farmer. And Collier defending Farmer that time. Step for step with George, who has already caught a touchdown pass. Collier in his 8th year and playing the best of his career. Began with the Kansas City Chiefs and then, of course, later on with the Cardinals.
There was some contact on this down at the end, but basically it was by both players as they're adjusting to go for the football, and so there was no flag thrown.
Third down and 18 following that incompletion. Out of field goal range by a wide margin now, close to midfield. Ferragamo toss to Henry Eller. Can't use his speed as he is hit immediately by Tim Collier. And it'll be fourth down. So the sack helps the 49ers, and Collier again in on the play after defending on the pass. 9-yard pickup, but it'll be fourth down, and Misko is in to punt for Los Angeles. Vince Ferragamo, and there is Dana McLemore, who goes back in punt formation. It was McLemore who returned a punt 93 yards for a touchdown against the Rams last year, and that was an NFL high. Misko booms this kick, and it's headed for the end zone and into the end zone for a touchback. 37-yard kick. So each team has had a chance to handle the ball, and Wendell Tyler's fumble does not come back to haunt the 49ers, who will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20 when we return. Tyler acquired by the 49ers along with Cody Jones and a third-round pick for 2 draft choices back in there now. And on first down at the 20, play-action pass. Montana past the line of scrimmage, has to run and dives forward and gets pretty good yardage as he moves out to the 26. George Andrews puts the stop on him and picks up some 6.5 yards on the play. Well, next Sunday, most of you will see an NFL doubleheader here on CBS. It all starts at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL Today, and then the first half of the doubleheader, these games. Dallas and Giants, most of the country. Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, St. Louis, and New Orleans and Buffalo. And then the second half of the doubleheader, the LA Rams, who are trying to go 6-2 and take the lead in the west of the NFC against the Dolphins, who are tied for first in the Eastern Division of the AFC. Eric Dickerson waiting for his next turn. And Roger Craig ganged up trying to go off the left side. It was Jimmy Collins, inside linebacker. Freddie Solomon talking now to Bill Walsh. And they send in Freddie Solomon with the play. 11:39 remaining, third quarter, 21-14. The Rams lead the 49ers. Roger Craig has gained 45 yards and 8 carries. It'll be 3rd and 4 after a loss of a yard. Montana is 13 for 19 for 127 yards, and he's in 10 of his last 11. Jeff Moore was in motion. Montana has time and hits Moore. Jeff Moore has a first down and knocked out of bounds by Leroy Irvin. So Jeff Moore, who returned against the Saints, had 3 touchdowns against the Rams last year. Had his best day ever in that first meeting.
Moore was in motion, and then you'll see him run a short pattern underneath, left to right. There he is, open all the way across. That's the 49er passing game. Underneath the linebackers, that's always been their most productive patterns since Bill Walsh has taken over.
Moore caught 8 passes for over 100 yards, his best day last year against LA. This was his first reception. It's a 1st and 10 for the 49ers on their 36. Freddie Solomon In motion, Montana. Trying to get away from Dejournay, chasing him, and Joe Montana is shy of a first down, I believe, by about 3 yards. But it was a smart run, and there's an example of why it's very hard to trap Montana and chase him out and really get some results.
Well, as I've said so many times, it's so disheartening for a defense to have that happen to you. You've played the defense just about perfect. You get some pressure on the quarterback, and you have everybody covered back in the secondary, and yet a guy like Montana will roll out and pick up yardage on you, and you wonder, when you get back in the defensive huddle, what do I have to do? What can I do?
Well, one of the things he's been working on is using his eyes more.
With his new coach, Paul Hackett, that's, looking off at one side and coming back to the receiver right at the last instance.
2nd and 3 at the 43. Play action to Tyler, going up top to Clark and overthrown. Clark, the intended receiver, Eric Harris covering. It'll be 3rd down now and 3.
Montana told us a couple weeks ago, we were sitting around chatting with him, Dick, and somebody asked him, well, do you think you have it made as an NFL quarterback, or, have you gone as far as you can go? And he said, no. He said, I don't think so. He said, I said, well, how will you know when you do? And he said, as soon as I see some of that Elway stuff.
That's right.
Meaning money.
Yeah. Well, that's what Dwight Hicks is looking for, I guess. That's why he's not on the scene. Dwight Hicks, who left the 49ers, want to remind you of that story on Friday and forcing Ronnie Lott to play the free safety position. Gary Jeter is in as a down lineman for the pass rush on 3rd and 3. Montana going up on top for Freddie Sullivan. Who makes it? Oh, almost made a terrific catch, and he did. He did, and he fumbled it, and then recovered it.
Dick, the rule there is the ground cannot cause a fumble, so he had to have control of it by the time he hit the ground, or it would have been an incomplete pass. That was the ruling by the official, that he did have control before he hit the ground.
Freddie is shaken up.
Watch it right here. Reach out, one-hands it. Now let's see if he gets it under control. He brings it in. Uh-oh.
Well, from this vantage point, it appears as if Solomon did not have possession.
He did not have control.
Freddie Solomon, who has caught 4 passes for 88 yards. That's an average of over 22. Now says, I'll get off on my own power. He is quite a battler. Solomon limping off the field, and I think that he's got a problem with that knee. He has been favoring it today and has not, even in motion, you've seen that Solomon has not been running in full stride.
Take a peek at it again now as we have Freddie Solomon isolated for you. A great fingertip effort by reaching out and bringing this ball in under control, but the key here is, did he have control of it when he went down? And from that vantage point again, it looks like he didn't.
Came from underneath.
That was great for the 49ers.
300th career reception. Freddie Solomon, a fumble. Niners recover. And Roger Craig right on top of it. So 2 fumbles in a row is called by the officials. The first one was a fumble after the catch, and Craig alertly pounces on that one. So it'll be 2nd down and 12, a loss of 2 on the play. Ball at the 16-yard line of the Rams. 49ers offense not in sync last week. In fact, Joe Montana, for the 2nd straight week, did not throw a touchdown pass. He has, of course, thrown one to Dwight Clark today. 2nd and 12 at the 16. Montana up the middle, incomplete. Dwight Clark. Eric Harris defending. The post pattern, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down.
It was an all-out blitz that time by the Rams. They brought the safeties, and that left the middle open. Clark ran the perfect pattern for it. Montana saw it extremely well, had it on the money, and number 87 is going to catch this ball a lot more times than he's going to drop it. 55 Ekron on the blitz, so are the safeties in there. Look in the middle there. Nobody there. Both safeties up in blitzing.
It is 3rd and 12, 9:36 remaining in the 3rd quarter, 21-14. The Rams lead the 49ers, who are trying to tie it up here. 3rd and long yardage for Montana. He's chased, going to the 4-yard line. It's caught at the 4 by Ronaldo Nehemiah, and it's 1st and goal. It'll be 1st and goal for San Francisco. Nehemiah.
The former sprinter takes it all the way across the field here, comes back. This has been his area. He drives the defenders off with his speed and stops and runs comeback patterns, and think he hasn't learned the pro game? Keeping those feet in bounds.
His only touchdown reception of his brief career was against these Rams last year, a 29-yard touchdown catch. He didn't receive one against New Orleans. He now has 11 this year after catching 8 in his first campaign. It was good for 12 yards. First and goal at the 4 for San Francisco. Trying to tie this game. Bill Ring and Roger Craig are the setback. In motion is Mike Wilson. And the pitch to Roger Craig. Head down. And Carl Eckern, who made a host of tackles the first time they played, stops them along with George Andrews.
He makes some of the big hits. Number 55 Eckern does. He was leading this team in tackling coming into the game. A real hard worker. Doesn't have, the most ability of any linebacker in the league, but works as hard as the game as anyone. When we were at the Rams offices the other day, he came in after practice and was looking for game film.
And he's the one in charge of making sure the rookies are prepared. And he learned that from Hacksaw Reynolds when Reynolds was with the Rams.
Role models.
Exactly. Second and goal at the 4. Bill Ring, stop. It'll be third and goal at the 3-yard line. So first it's Craig, then it's Ring, and once again it's Andrews on both times. This time he teamed with Reggie Doss to bring down a very tough runner in Bill Ring. Third and 3.
Critical play calling situation here, and Bill Walsh criticized himself the last couple of weeks with his play calling selection. He said that perhaps he's gotten a little bit too conservative. We'll see what he comes up with this one. This is perhaps the big play of this ball game to this point.
John Robinson had been conservative at USC. Not so much today. Craig and Moore are the backs. Moore's a good receiver. Montana going to Moore. Clark has it. Penalty marker down. Touchdown. Dwight Clark, the short receiver. And let's see what the penalty is. It's an important one. And it's against San Francisco. It'll nullify the touchdown.
Well, it looks like it might be a pushing off penalty. And I'm not sure who it's on, but in the area it was thrown, it appears that it could be on Clark.
They sent 2 receivers, Wayne, to the same side. Moore deep and Clark short.
I don't think there was a situation over there where they ran a pick like in basketball, which is also illegal. I think it was just a push off. We'll get it.
Pass interference. Number 87 of the offense. Still third down.
Make it third down and 13. And the ball is now set back to the 13-yard line. Third and goal. Been very few penalties in this game. The 49ers have all of them. 3 for 20 yards. Rams penalty-free contest. Montana in trouble. Johnny Johnson with a safety blitz. And it's fourth down.
First it was Jack Youngblood from defensive left end who got around Keith Farnhorst and it made Montana move up in the pocket. When he did, he moved right into Johnson, who came in open on a safety blitz. Watch Youngblood show up from the right of your screen. Pushes Montana up, and there's Johnson. Good team defense that time by the Rams.
So now with Youngblood and Johnson teaming up, it is fourth down and 13. And Ray Wershing, who kicked 6 field goals last week, a 49er record, including a 52-yarder, will attempt this from 31 yards. Montana holds. And the kick is good. So Wershing continues to have a superlative season. He is 15 for 16 in the field goal department. And with 8 minutes, 22 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Rams lead it now 21-17. Talking upstairs.
He didn't come till after I stepped up.
Explaining what happened on that third down pass attempt, or maybe it was the blitz by Johnson. In any event, Ray Wershing kicked what is called a 30-yard field goal, and it is 21-17 in favor of the Rams. And Wershing will do the kickoff duties right now. Henry Ellis. And it's Alexander, Robert Alexander. Almost breaks the tackle and gets it out to the 23-yard line, where the Rams have it first and 10. And now for an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
Dick George Rogers is out right now because of an injury for the Saints, so Kenny Stabler has gone to the air against Tampa Bay. This touchdown pass to Goodlow has brought the Saints back. It is now 21-17. The Bucs still lead. Let's go back to Dick and Wade.
All right, Brent, thank you. And that's the same score we have here, 21-17. And talk about injuries. Freddie Solomon has a pulled quadricep, and it's questionable if he'll return to this game. 1st and 10 for the Rams on the 23. Motion, the U-back, and he's blocking up ahead for Eric Dickerson. Fred Dean had him from behind, and Dickerson, who gained 64 yards last week, now has just about 70 yards rushing, make it 71 so far today, and another 37 receiving.
It's an amazing back in a way that when you look down there on that play, you think that the 49ers did a pretty good job of defense, and yet he picked up 5 yards.
That's what the great ones can do. He can turn a short gain into a big gain, and a big gain into a touchdown. 2nd and 5 at the 28. Here comes Gennard in motion. Play action, they go the other way. George Farmer on a wide receiver screen. He's in trouble and down at the 30-yard line. He'll pick up a couple of yards, however. Lawrence Pillars, defensive left end, makes the stop on Farmer, who caught a touchdown pass earlier, 13 yards, and actually the first score of the game. We had a scoreless first quarter and a lot of points in the second.
Look at Pillars, who made the play going off, has good speed to get out there in the flat. As you just saw, he was drafted as a linebacker originally by the New York Jets.
Jim Stuckey replaces him, as you see the Pittsburgh score. 3rd down conversion so far. The Rams have made good on 3 of 7. 3rd and 3 at the 30. David Hill moves, and Eric Dickerson finds a hole. Awfully close. It's going to be close as to whether Dickerson picked up the first down, and closing fast, Jim Stuckey and Dwayne Board, and a little help from Ronnie Lott.
You want to know, we've been talking about the U-back, the man in motion all the time in the Rams offense. It's David Hill right here. Here's what he does on this play. Across the formation, the ball is snapped, and then he's in on a block right there on Keena Turner as Dickerson cuts it in behind him. And this is one of the ever popular, what our colleague John Madden says, how they place the ball down, left foot or right foot.
Right.
For this one.
They're going to measure, and Stuckey and Board are both down for the moment, and it's Jim Stuckey who comes off the field with a little bit of help. Former #1 draft pick out of Clemson, who's been nagged by injuries last year. Dickerson made it. First down Rams. Stuckey being tended to over the sideline. So Stuckey's hurt. As we told you a few moments ago, Freddie Solomon may not be back. 1st and 10 Rams at the 33. Time remaining in the 3rd quarter, 6:25. Jeff Stover, second-year free agent, replaces Pete Kugler at nose tackle. He's number 72. David Hill in motion. Ferragamo. Pass incomplete. They had Ronnie Lott and Eric Wright sandwiching Preston Denard, and the ball was just thrown low.
Throwing on 1st and 10, so John Robinson is not going to go basic or conservative here in the second half like he did so many years at USC. Give it to one of his great tailbacks and let him grind up the yardage. He's got a great runner here in Dickerson, but he's got a good thrower too, and he's spreading it around today.
Vince Ferragamo in his 6th year. Mike Barber says he's got nerves of steel. He has matured awfully fast, and of course no quarterback controversy for a change this year with the Rams. He was given the job when Robinson came aboard without a problem. So on 2nd and 10 at the 33, Eric Dickerson trying to go outside. Penalty marker is down. Gets to the 36. Carlton Williamson makes the tackle on Eric, but a flag. Brett Cashin. And it's holding against Los Angeles. And one of the linemen is awfully upset, and it looks like Kent Hill. Kent Hill, Pro Bowl performer last year, heated up.
One of the good ones. He was their #1 draft choice back in 1979. Rams across that front line are extremely big and good.
Yeah, they have held off the defensive rush pretty well. The 49ers have 2 sacks today, but largely Ferragamo's been protected and Dickerson has had a lot of hope.
John Robinson said he had to sell the offensive line on his blocking techniques with the one-back situation with Eric Dickerson. They have to sustain their blocks longer than they did in past years, and he said he had to sell them on that, and they've been doing a great job on it.
They're going to bring it back to the 24-yard line.
Holding during the run. Number 72 of the offense. Still second down.
Well, you knew it was Ken Hill. It is still second down, 2nd and 19, and Jim Stuckey getting a breather. Apparently is all right with ice on his neck. It's kind of warm down there on the field. Weather had been more seasonable, but it got hot the last couple of days in Southern California. And at 24, 2nd and 19. Nickel defense in there for the 49ers. Ferragamo's pass, incomplete, penalty marker down again. They were going for George Farmer. And another flag. Collier defending. And this one also appears to be against the Rams. It is.
And Mike Barber is upset. Barber said he dedicated himself to this season. He'd never worked so hard in the offseason as he did last year. He started a week after the Super Bowl to get ready. Paid dividends for him.
So all of a sudden, the Rams, who did not have a penalty until most of this third quarter had been history, now hit with 2 in a row. And we have 6:02 remaining in the third. It's 21-17 if you've joined us late. Scoreless first quarter. 35 points scored in the second with the Rams leading by 7, and Wersching's field goal makes it 21-17.
Pass interference. Number 86 on the offense. Still second down.
And no secret as to who the guilty party was there. Pass interference the call.
Now you got 2 guys mad over there, Barber and Hill.
And Ronnie Lott's been mad the last 2 plays.
He just plays angry.
So as you see, he replaced Dwight Hicks as captain. Ronnie Lott, left cornerback. Been strong safety last week with the injuries to Williamson and Rick Jervis. And now Williamson back, and he's got to play free safety. Is he valuable? Second down and 29. Back on the 14th and 14-yard line. A draw play to Dickerson. And Eric brings it out to the 25. Good call in that situation. Tina Turner makes the tackle, and blocked by the right guard Dennis Harrow freed Eric briefly. 13-yard pickup for Dickerson.
It was interesting what John Robinson told us. You can create an environment for a running back, and he's done that for Dickerson. And one of the first things he did was trade Wendell Tyler. And the reason he traded Wendell Tyler, he didn't want 2 good running backs around and wanted to go with Dickerson. He said if you have 2 guys like that, half the team's going to like one guy, half the team's going to like the other guy. Let's create a good environment for the rookie, and they certainly have done that.
3rd and 17 at the 26. Ferragamo passes to Mike Barber. And he may have a first down at the 43-yard line, and he does. Mike Barber, Tina Turner, and Carlton Williamson make the stop, and it is an LA first down.
Mike Barber atones for that penalty a couple of plays ago by getting open in Ferragamo, as we said before. In this range, the 15 to 25-yard range, nobody throws it better. This ball is right on the shelf. And he spotted Barber running against the linebacker, Keena Turner. And they're going to have to measure.
5 catches for 73 yards for Mike Barber. That one was a 17-yard pickup, and from our view down here with the sticks, it appeared as if he had the first down.
By a couple of lengths of the football.
Jim Stuckey, who was injured before, has a pinched nerve in his neck, and he should return. Ferragamo now has completed 16 of 21 passes, a very fine percentage afternoon, 202 yards, and has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Good day again for Ferragamo. 1st and 10 at the 44. 4th 43 remaining in the third quarter, and here's Dickerson looking for a hole. Jukes forward to the 48-yard line. Nearly everyone you talk to says that Eric Dickerson just may be the best running back ever to play the game. Of course, that's a pretty hefty order. prediction at this stage, but it comes from a lot of people who know.
Well, they've got him listed at 218 pounds, and you get close to him and stand by him and see him out on the practice field, and he's closer to 230.
He's averaged over 121 yards a game, which says enough. 2nd and 5, just shy of midfield for the Rams. They lead 21-17, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Mike Gouman in motion. And here's Dickerson. Look at Dickerson's move to the outside. And he puts an arm in the face of Ronnie Lott, has the first down. Tim Collier makes the tackle, and Dickerson says, you may be a physical defensive back, but I can handle it.
Is he ever? Look at the end of this run, and they talk about how he finishes a run, and you'll see what they mean. Collier and Lott will both show. Now, this is just a great move right here, and he uses his speed to get outside. Willie Harper, 59, waves at him. Now, watch him play Lott off with a straight arm, but look what he does to Tim Collier with his helmet.
A 10-yard pickup for Dickerson, and I think Ronnie Lott has made this a personal challenge against Dickerson today.
He said yesterday, Lott did, when we talked to him, he said, if Dickerson gets in the secondary, I'm going after him, and I'm not going after his ankles.
That's right, and he hasn't. 1st and 10 now at the San Francisco 41-yard line. Bob Horn, number 55, is in an inside linebacker. Ferragamo going to the air, hits Henry Ellard. And Ellard almost got past Williamson, and he would have been off for a touchdown. But Carl Williamson tripped him up, as it is a first down at the 24.
This is just excellent play calling by John Robinson and his staff, mixing up the run with the pass. 47 is Collier, almost got a hand on it. It looks like it might be broken by Ellard, but Carlton Williamson stuck one arm out and tripped him up.
Gain of 17 yards, so it's 1st and 10. At the 24-yard line, Ellard has caught 3 passes now for 32 yards. 3:05 remaining, third quarter. Ellard in motion, and here's Dickerson. He's got Dennis Harrah blocking. And Eric Dickerson inside the 15, another first down for the Rams. Eric Wright and Ronnie Lott make the tackle, and they have seen, perhaps for them, too much of Eric Dickerson in the defensive secondary.
Boy, how did Dennis Harrah get out there so fast? He came from the right guard position on the pull. All 6'5", 260 pounds of him. He's to the left of Ferragamo. Watch him on the pull. This is great speed for a big man to get out in front of Dickerson this quickly and get the block on Lott. And Dickerson says, get out of my way.
And Eric Dickerson now has gained 114 yards on 18 carries. That's the 4th time this year he has gained 100 yards or more. And it's 1st and 10 Rams at the 12. Ferragamo looping it up, going for Preston Denard, and it was overthrown out of the end zone. Eric Wright had covered Denard well. 2nd and 10, 2:07 remaining, and Eric Wright, who leads the 49ers in interceptions, 3rd year from Missouri, and told us last week he's wondered why teams haven't gone his way as much as he thought they would.
Well, he has a good mentality for that corner position. He plays it pretty safe. He doesn't take a lot of chances, and he doesn't give up, the long 6 points very often.
2nd and 10. Flip to Dickerson, and he's stopped in the middle, maybe a yard. Ronnie Lott forcing the play, and a good one.
Here's why he's so valuable. Anywhere you line him up, Ronnie Lott at free safety here now. He can range. He makes the read here, comes in and gets the hit on Dickerson along with Bob Horn, the inside linebacker, who made a good play.
Lott did not play because of the injured ankle against the Rams 2 weeks ago. And there are a lot of players, Tyler coming back to the Rams, Hacksaw Reynolds, but people like Ricky Ellison and Ronnie Lott, who played at USC under John Robinson, this game means a lot to. 3rd and 9 at the 11-yard line with less than a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. And Ferragamo's going to call a timeout. And on this drive, which is an important one for the Rams, Dickerson has gained 49 yards on 7 carries alone in the third quarter. Timeout, and we'll be back. A lot of things under that face mask, including a pair of glasses, makes people remind him of Chuck Muncie. And, of course, a lot of people have said he's similar to Muncie in some respects, O.J. Simpson and others.
I think he's just going to be known as Eric Dickerson. Tricky Dick, he likes to be called.
Right. That's true. That's no joke. Third down and 8. And so following the timeout, let's see what they cooked up over on the Rams sideline. 21-17, the Rams lead the 49ers with 1:20 to go, third quarter. Ball at the 10-yard line. Here comes a blitz. Ferragamo gets it off, and here's Dickerson. He's in for the touchdown. But wait, they say he's out of bounds at the 1. Let's see. He's in. Touchdown. Signal finally given. And Eric Dickerson, with terrific speed after the catch, has his second touchdown receiving of the game.
But credit Ferragamo with a great throw. Safety blitz that time. Ronnie Lott was in his face. He held till the last minute. And then dumped it out to Dickerson, who was being covered by Fred Dean. So they took a chance on the blitz, and Ferragamo made him pay for it by putting Dickerson on Dean.
Chuck Nelson, with Cromwell holding, will attempt to add the 28th point to the Ram total. And they love it in Anaheim. They have come out, capacity crowd. The kick is good, and it's 28-17. The Rams are up by 11 points.
Here's a touchdown end zone. Dickerson on a flare out to the right. You see Lott leap up and try to get it. Now that's number 74 chasing Dickerson, Dean, and it's going to be no contest.
And the biggest lead in the game for either team. The Rams have it 28-17. Here's Lott.
Safety blitz. He timed it perfectly. Got in the gap. Made Ferragamo throw the ball up, but a great touch by Ferragamo throwing that ball around Lott and getting it on the money to that man, Eric Dickerson.
14th touchdown of the year. Day for Vince Ferragamo. It's the first time that he has thrown 4 touchdown passes in a game since 1980 when he did it against the Jets, and of course that was the year that the Rams went to the Super Bowl before losing to Pittsburgh.
The next year he was up in Canada, and he said that was a good experience for him. It helped him mature as a person and a quarterback.
And I guess it did. He was MVP of the team last year. Nelson's kickoff to Dana McLemore. McLemore hit hard at the 22-yard line, and the hit was made by Vince Newsom. So the 49ers go on offense, but right now for an NFL Today report, let's find out what Brent Musburger has to say in New York. Brent?
Dick Jack Thompson pulling out for the Buccaneers, who lead New Orleans 21-17. He wants Jimmy Giles, but Bobby Johnson steps in at the 30, picks it off, and goes 70 yards. And the Saints defense now has them ahead of the Bucs 24-21. Back to Dick.
That's quite a game, Brent, and the Saints battling Tampa Bay. They play Buffalo next week, does New Orleans. 1st and 10 at the 24. Montana overthrows Russ Francis. Covering on the play was Mel Owens, the linebacker. Montana has completed 16 of 26 passes for 192 yards and 1 touchdown. Joe Montana coming into the game with 12 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. There's the scoring drive.
They fought off 2 penalties that had them deep in their own territory on that drive.
1:01 remaining in the third quarter. 2nd and 10 at the 24. Motion is Nehemiah. He's caught a pass today. Montana swings it out, incomplete for Roger Craig. It's 3rd and 10. Carl Eckern defending on the play, and right now the 49ers offense has just stopped dead in its tracks.
The Rams took their short game away from them a couple of weeks ago, and they're doing a pretty good job at it today.
The Rams lead the series between these teams 43-22, and they won 10 straight. In the years 1970 to 75, San Francisco won a couple, and then the Rams won the next 9. It's been their series. 3rd and 10 at the 24. Flips it inside to Wendell Tyler, and Wendell Tyler has a first down at the 39-yard line. So an inside toss to Tyler. Johnson and Cromwell, the safeties, make the stop, and the rally stays alive.
A guy by the name of Cactus Jack Curtis designed that play back at Utah. It was called the Utah Draw. Lee Grosscup used it early. Just a little flip forward right there. It's like a draw play, only it's a toss instead of a handoff.
It's nice that you gave Utah credit for that. I thought Idaho would go into the win column for that play.
We stopped it, but they used it.
P.S., right? 1st and 10 at the 40 for San Francisco. Russ Francis in motion. 16 seconds to go in the third quarter. Montana drills it. It's caught by Nehemiah. So Nehemiah has made 2 tough catches. This good for 9 yards. And that should be the last play of the third quarter. And there's an injured 49er back near the line of scrimmage. It's Fred Quillen, the center. And the clock stops 1 second showing. Montana over to talk to Bill Walsh. 2nd down and 1 as they tend to Fred Quillen in his 6th year. He replaced Randy Cross at center in 1978 when Cross was hurt, and Randy came back as a pretty tough right guard.
His offensive line coach Bob McKittrick said that Quillen is probably the best athlete of all the starters up there in front. As you see the coach and the quarterback, you know, Bill Walsh has an attack list that he starts the game with, a list of 20 to 25 plays that he goes right down the list and uses. And it's hard to get a tendency on the 49ers. They use them in some situations just to see what kind of defense it's going to bring from the opposing team. And they'll file that and then come back later in the game hoping to get the same defense and take advantage of it.
Quillen will be helped off the field, and there's a new center in the game, and he took a couple of practice snaps. The backup center is Jesse Sapolo, and Quillen looks like he's banged up pretty well. Randy Cross. There's Jesse Sapolo, 11th round draft choice from Hawaii. 49ers lucky to have him. Actually, Randy Cross is going to move to center, and Sapolo will take over at right guard, I believe. Let's see how they line up. That's the end of the third quarter here in Los Angeles. We'll find out how they do line up on the offensive line. 28-17 the Rams. We now pause for a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Cadillac Motor Car Division and your Cadillac dealer. And by K-Care, where quality automotive parts and service are Kmart priced.
Start of the fourth quarter, Dick Stockton and Wayne Walker here in Anaheim Stadium in Los Angeles. The Rams lead the 49ers 28-17. It'll be 2nd down and 1 for San Francisco, just shy of midfield. Randy Cross is the center, Jesse Sapolo the right guard, with Fred Quillen out of there. Play action pass. Montana gets rid of it in a hurry, and a great rush. Looks like Reggie Doss came in from right end, and it'll be 3rd and 1. There's Fred Quillen. He has a sprained knee and may not be back.
49ers wear a special knee braces. Their offensive and defensive linemen all do. It's required, both left and right.
Penalty marker down lane. And it was against the Niners.
And those knee braces, they feel, have helped them escape some injury this year. Keith Fahnhorst said after one game he took his off and was all bent and mangled, and he said that would have been my knee if I had had that knee brace.
He's had an ankle brace, hasn't he?
Yeah, ankle. There you see the bulges there on the outside of Fahnhorst's leg. That's the special knee brace that was designed by the trainer of the L.A. Raiders.
Downfield before the ball was thrown. Offensive pass interference. Number 68 on the offense. It's still 2nd down.
Ball is against John Ayers, so it is still 2nd down. It is 2nd and 11, however, at the 39-yard line. They're the penalty stories. Not too many today. 2nd and 11 at the 39. Roger Craig is the running back. Montana on a passing down. Goes to Craig. And Roger Craig breaks the tackle. And Roger Craig has it to the 37-yard line of the Rams in a 1st down. Nolan Cromwell makes the stop. And you'll see a good block by Jeff Moore, the running back, to free Roger.
One of the questions that always needs to be answered when a running back comes out of Oklahoma or Nebraska like Roger Craig is can he catch the ball? And the 49ers found out right away that Roger Craig has good hands. And you see right there a good tough runner as he headed right upfieldward.
So with Craig, who picked up 23 yards on that play, and Tyler, the 49ers have certainly bolstered their backfield. 1st and 10 at the 38. They take a draw play. Montana up the middle to Nehemiah. Nehemiah makes the catch at the 15 and rambles to the 11. And this has to be, along with the Cardinal game, the best showing of the year for Ronaldo Nehemiah, the former world-class hurdler.
In there because of the injury to Freddie Solomon. He said his main problem has been, adjusting his speed, controlling his body as he makes his cuts. He went up in the air and made a fine fingertip catch there.
3 catches for 48 yards. Johnson and Cromwell make the tackle. So Nehemiah, who felt that last year when he came aboard, he rained on the parade of the world champions, is fitting in more and more with his team. 1st and 10 at the 11. Montana going back, throws it away. Smart play by Montana. And he was chased by Jack Youngblood. Easton Ramsden was the intended receiver. Opening minute and a half here of the 4th quarter. Montana trying to bring the 49ers back. It's 28-17 in favor of the Rams. And if the Rams do hold on and win, not only will they have a game lead in the NFC West, but will hold the edge in tiebreaker in case those two teams end up tied.
49ers have to have a touchdown basically to win this game. The 2 touchdowns or a touchdown and 2 field goals. The score remains the same for the Rams. This is important.
The motion is Tyler. Pass to Francis. He can't hold on to it. Cromwell defending on the play.
Good job by Nolan Cromwell right over there making contact just as the ball got there. And Francis couldn't hold on.
Last 9 plays have been passes, and Montana has had 10 different receivers today. Nehemiah has caught 3 for 48. Clark and Solomon with 4 catches each lead the parade. 3rd and 10 on the 11-yard line, and of course 49ers are within field goal range and plenty of time, so they're not in any kind of a panic situation. Fake. Montana up the middle. Touchdown Nehemiah. Got to bolster Ronaldo Nehemiah's confidence several degrees. So his only touchdown passes in his brief career, which started last year, have been against the Rams. This one for 11 yards and brings San Francisco closer to Los Angeles.
Dick, he said that he sees himself as a quick learner and figured that next year would be the year that he got it all together, but he certainly put a bunch of it together here this afternoon.
Montana holds for Ray Wershing. And the kick is good. So less than 2 minutes gone by here in the 4th quarter, and it's tight again.
Montana going kind of against the grain here on kind of a bootleg play. No blocking out in front of him. Took 2 steps and then had to get rid of it quickly and had it on the shelf for Nehemiah.
It is now 28-24 in favor of the Rams. There's a scoring drive for the 49ers, capped by Montana's 11-yard pass to Nehemiah, who has caught 4 passes for 59 yards. Here's Joe on the phone again, and Ray Wershing kicking off. Deep man is Henry Ellard. And Ellard on the 2. Ellard finds some running room and has Dana McLemore to beat, and it's McLemore and Homo who finally bring Henry Ellard down at about the 45-yard line. Call it a 43-yard return by Ellard in good field position for the Rams.
Ellard, number 2 draft choice for the Rams, wide receiver out of Fresno State. We told you earlier, John Robinson likes him because he's a great open field runner. After he gets the ball, when he catches it on a pass, he got it on that kickoff and did a job.
Henry Ellard, who broke his clavicle on a catch against the Giants in the opening game of the year, trying to make a diving catch. A.J. Jones of the Rams is the injured player. John Robinson out to check him out. We'll take a break right now with 13:04 remaining in the 4th. It takes a lot of people to put on a telecast, but I want to tip my hat to that Hollywood CBS camera crew. They have done a terrific job today, Wayne.
They go find him, don't they?
They're right with the play. They know more about the teams than anyone, I would say. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. For the Rams, Gordon Jones goes in motion, and here's Eric Dickerson trying to get some running room outside. And Fred Dean missed him, but Ricky Ellison and company stop him just about at midfield. Lawrence Pillar's also in on the play. Want to remind you that next Saturday, the NCAA begins it all at 12 noon Eastern time, and then the battle for the Big Ten supremacy, the showdown between Michigan and Illinois. Both teams are identical 6-1. 5-0 in the Big Ten, and the Rose Bowl beckons for one of these teams.
Michigan always tough, and Mike White's got a defense this year to go with his always high-powered passing game.
Jack Trudeau is his quarterback. Dwight Beverly rushed for 179 yards yesterday in the victory over Purdue. Michigan is Michigan, right? 2nd and 6 at midfield. Ferragamo, quick pass. Mike Barber, tight end, is stopped at the 42, but another first down for the Rams. Eric Wright and Jack Reynolds combine to make the play. So the Rams are moving the ball.
Ferragamo told us that there are no set patterns basically in the Rams offense, much like Dwight Clark runs for the 49ers. His receivers like Barber can go down, find an open spot, and pull up, and that's what he did that time. Ferragamo found him and got him the football.
For Mike Barber, he has 6 receptions, 83 yards. So he's having a team-leading kind of day. He went into the game as the leading receiver. Dickerson was second. Eric has caught 2 passes for touchdowns today. 1st and 10 at the 49ers, 41-yard line. Plenty of time to go, 11 and a half. David Hill in motion, and here's Dickerson. Cuts inside, and just tripped. Moves to the 35-yard line. He picks up 7 yards by accident when he carries the ball.
A great runner.
Carlton Williamson did the tripping.
His coach says that he'll take a 1-yard loss and turn it into a 4-yard gain, or a 4-yard gain into a 9-yard gain, and you see why. Look at that stop and cut. Only the great ones do that. They can cut either direction off either leg.
So Dickerson now has gained 126 yards in 21 carries, and you see what the 49er rushing story is. Tyler has picked up 31 yards in his first appearance against his former club. 2nd and 4 at the 35. Rams are moving. Ferragamo going for Gordon Jones. He's got it. At the 15. Collier the tackle. A 20-yard pickup and a first down for the Rams.
I think the Ram offensive line is just doing a great job for Ferragamo. The 49ers blitzed that time. They had Keena Turner coming from the outside, but the Rams picked it up. And look at that pocket around Ferragamo. Plenty of time for him to read and step forward and make a good, strong throw.
Well, having the presence of Dickerson really unleashes the passing game.
Oh, it makes the defense, you're never sure what's going to happen out there. Dickerson, even on a long yardage situation that's normally a passing play, you got to be alert for him running a draw or running a sweep, because he's just so dangerous.
Dickerson has rushed this year for 977 yards, so he's threatening 1,000. Ferragamo 20 of 26, 4 touchdown passes. Here's Dickerson, and Dickerson is caught behind by Carlton Williamson. And what a game Williamson is playing on his return, coming back from the broken leg suffered in preseason. He has spent a lot of time in the Rams backfield.
He's going to be a stiff and sore young man tomorrow too, because he's had a lot of contact out there. Safety blitz that time. Both Ronnie Lott and Williamson blitzed, and Williamson from the strong safety made the stop.
Carlton Williamson in his 3rd year out of the University of Pittsburgh. He had 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl season 2 years ago. Vince Ferragamo leading the charge, 2nd and 12 now at the 17. 28-24, the Rams lead the Niners. Ferragamo goes up top to Barber, touchdown!
I think the 49ers either blitzed again that time or they doubled the two outside wide receivers because it left Mike Barber with the strong side linebacker Willie Harper. Man for man down the middle of the field and deep with no help, and Ferragamo spotted immediately. Ferragamo's having a great afternoon, not only throwing the ball, but getting it to the right person. Look at the blitz coming here, and you'll see Harper trying to cover Barber, linebacker against the tight end, and look at the throw. Ferragamo has been tough today.
5 touchdown passes, and for Mike Barber, his 3rd TD reception of the year. He does enjoy playing football again after the tough time in Houston when Dave Casper had the job and he was told he couldn't get the #1 job no matter what he did. Kind of discouraging for him.
I think they took away my heart.
Chuck Nelson adds the conversion. And with 8 minutes and 57 seconds to go in the 4th quarter, the Rams don't let the 49ers that close. And this score makes it 35-24. And yeah, much different than the first go-around. Ferragamo ties a record that he held along with several others. He threw 5 against the Saints 3 years ago, and the others who have thrown 5 touchdown passes for the Rams, Roman Gabriel, Bob Waterfield, and Norm Van Brocklin did it twice.
Not a bad list.
Dana McLemore, a yard in the end zone. Hit hard at the 15-yard line. Howard Carson makes the stop. So the Rams put the 49ers in not real good field position here as we take a look at the LA scoring drive. 8 minutes 48 seconds remain in the 4th quarter. It's 35-24. Bill Walsh to the drawing board.
Probably planning ahead. Probably planning the next play.
Joe Montana has completed 21, now 34 for 278 yards. He has 2 touchdown passes today. They're on the 16. Montana can't find a receiver. Now he does. It's Nehemiah, and he'll have to settle for a short gain of about 5 yards. So you can credit the Rams defense there. Reminder, next Saturday, the NBA returns to CBS. The debut of Ralph Sampson, the 3-time College Player of the Year of Virginia, in his very first NBA game against Artis Gilmore and the San Antonio Spurs.
People already, before he's played the game, are questioning his stamina and strength, and they'll get that answered because he's playing against a strong guy.
He sure is, and of course I'll be in Houston along with the newest member of the CBS Sports family, former Celtic great Tommy Heinsohn. Next Saturday, 3:45 Eastern, right here on CBS. 2nd down and 4. Roger Craig fights his way to the 30-yard line and has a 1st down for San Francisco. The 2 inside linebackers, Jim Collins and Carl Eckern, make the stop. Good day for some sun. He's got that Rams cap that's covering just about his whole face. He's having a good time, and most of the fans here of this capacity crowd sell out. 1st and 10 at the 31. Montana looking for Mike Wilson, and Wilson out of bounds into LA territory at the 46-yard line. Nolan Cromwell knocked him out of bounds. So 2 passes, and Wilson has a 1st.
Mike Wilson gets most of his playing time coming in and relieving Dwight Clark. About Clark's size with great speed.
He has 1 touchdown reception each of the last 2 years. Last year was against this team. Montana moving at 1st and 10 now at the Ram 46. 7:57 on the clock. 35-24, the Rams lead. Jeff Moore in the backfield with Roger Craig. Nehemiah goes in motion. And wide open is Dwight Clark. Touchdown. He split the defense. He split Irvin and Johnny Johnson. 46-yard play. 2nd touchdown hookup today for Joe Montana and Dwight Clark.
You know, they say he doesn't have a lot of speed, and he really fools you with his speed. He ran a 4.5 40 in one of the mini camps this year, and that's running extremely well for a guy his size. Big long stride, and the thing about him is that he's running just as fast now as he was in the 1st quarter. He has great stamina towards the end of a ball game.
He has 5 catches, Wayne, but 2 of them have been for scores today. He's been productive. Ray Wersching with Montana holding, and it's now a 35-31 game. Rams still lead, but the Niners hang in there.
This was a zone defense by the Rams, and Clark just ran a straight pattern from a slot back position straight down the field. Montana didn't look anywhere else and put it right on the money. Johnson is the free safety, and you know what kind of speed he's got. Leroy Irvin also, but they couldn't catch up with the big guy.
Well, the last 5 games between these two teams has been decided by 6 points or less, and this one is heading in the same direction. Always seems to make a phone call after one of those touchdown passes.
He's running out of dimes pretty soon, probably. Huh?
Hope it was collect. Ray Wersching will kick off. Henry Ellard is back there. It's 35-31. Ellard with a good return the last time. 43 yards. And he moves over, and it is Alexander. Robert Alexander turns around, fumbles the ball. And the Rams recover, but back at the 6. That could have been high danger for the LA Rams. They recover the ball, but they're way back.
This is going to be follow the bouncing ball on this one. Now Jeff Stover, number 72, the big nose tackle, will be one of the first people that show up down there. Robert Alexander with the football. Look at 72 right here. Gets him to change direction. People come over. McLemore reaches in and swats the ball out. And then it's a scramble. And the Rams dodged one.
Vince Ferragamo has 5 touchdown passes, but has to start this drive from his own 8-yard line. 7 minutes, 37 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Rams 35, 49ers 31 in what has been a terrific football game between 2 teams fighting for first place in the NFC West. Ferragamo, the pass to get out of trouble. Incomplete. Intended for George Farmer. Well, it's been a sobering day indeed with the tragic events in Lebanon, and tonight CBS News will present a special report with Dan Rather on the situation in Beirut, Lebanon. That's tonight at 11 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, 10 p.m. Central on CBS. Second down 10 at the 8. 49ers have never led in the game. Twice it's been tied at 7 and 14, but they've trailed the rest of the way. Here's Dickerson, hit at the 10. And it looked as if the 49ers were primed for that one, Wayne.
Bob Horn, the inside linebacker, read it well, stepped in, got an arm on Dickerson, then Lott came in and cleaned up. Brett Quillen, the center, who hasn't come back to action after hurting his knee. Basically, the 49er offensive line has been healthy this year. Far cry from last season. It's 3rd and 8 at the 10-yard line. Brett Dean is in, and the nickel package for the 49ers. Under 7 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. Pressure on Ferragamo, and he's trapped. It'll be a safety. And no, now they say it may be a touchdown, and it is. Dwayne Board stole the ball from Ferragamo, and it's a San Francisco touchdown. Amazing turn of events here for the Rams and the 49ers. A big rush on Ferragamo that time by several people. Dean was lined up. He went from the outside. Jeff Stover, Dwayne Board, I think Stuckey was back there also. Let's see how it happened. 72 is Stover right there. 76 is Board, and he has the football before he hits the ground. He did take it away. Stover showed up first, and then Board came in and burglarized Ferragamo. That's got to be the most obvious case of daylight robbery we have seen in the NFL in some time. I've never seen a play like that. I played 15 years and been looking at pro football for 10 years since that. That's 25 years. I have never seen anything close to that in the end zone. You get it down the field sometime when people are running, but not like that.
Wersching, kick is good. So all of a sudden, the 49ers have their first lead in the game. And there's the man, Dwayne Board, in his 4th year, who took the ball away from Vince Ferragamo. A fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Ford is number 76. He's at the right of your screen. He's out of it now, but he'll come into the picture in just a moment. Stover is up the middle, and there's Ford, wrestles it away from Ferragamo for the 6 points. What an effort.
38-35, San Francisco leading for the first time. Would you believe that there was no score after the first quarter of this game? But we've had a lot of points since then. 6:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. We'll be back. 2 weeks ago, these teams played a defensive struggle. 10-7 the final score, 17 points total. Right now, 73 points have been scored, and we still have 6:40 remaining in the fourth quarter.
You bet. Maybe more to come.
Why not? Why should things be different? Wershing kicking off. Ellard, 2 yards in the end zone. And McLemore hits Ellard at the 11-yard line. Good coverage by San Francisco, an aroused team, particularly on defense and the special teams right now.
It's a very key possession right here now for the Rams after being stunned by that. I guess you call it a fumble recovery in the end zone.
That's what it is. Well, tonight on CBS, stay tuned for 60 minutes, followed by Alice, One Day at a Time, the Jefferson.
And our favorite, Goodnight Beantown.
Of course, and finishing off with Trapper John M.D. tonight on CBS.
I said very important. They have to get the ball downfield and in field goal range. They would turn it over to the 49ers. With less than 5 minutes left, there's a possibility the Niners could run out the clock on them.
You know, there are a lot of 49er fans in the crowd. Real old-time rivalry in the stands. One of the long-time ones in the NFL. These two West Coast teams. 1st and 10 at the 12 for L.A. Play action. Ferragamo freezes the linebacker. Pass complete at the 30-yard line to George Farmer. Collier makes the tackle. First down, Rams.
Picture perfect, excuse me, Dick. Picture perfect for the Rams. Good protection for Ferragamo. Took care of him in the pocket. He didn't have anybody back pressuring him or any hands on in his face, and he stepped right up and got it to Farmer here. About 20 yards deep, and then runs across the field and outruns Tim Collier, a pretty quick man.
4th catch of the day for Farmer. That was for 19 yards. 1st and 10 at the 30. Here's Dickerson with Kent Hill blocking. And Dickerson gets about 3. Willie Harper and Carlton Williamson. We've mentioned Williamson's name continually this afternoon in on the play. 68,921 tickets sold, a sellout here. 66,000 here in Anaheim Stadium and 2,800 no-shows. And they're seeing a tremendous battle. 2nd and 7 at the 34. 5:15 remaining, fourth quarter. David Hill, the U-back, makes the U-turn. And here comes another fancy play. Dickerson to Ellard. Ellard's in trouble, and Tina Turner traps him back there, back at the 23-yard line.
Tina Turner, one of the few outside linebackers in the league with the speed and quickness to make that kind of play. He was out there all by himself. Kept his containment. Fought off a block and then made the play on Ellard. You don't see Turner, but he's out here keeping his containment, playing the defense the way it's supposed to be, and came up with a huge play for San Francisco.
An 11-yard loss on the play. Tina Turner, who's bigger this year, has gained a lot more weight to fend off blockers, but showed some of that speed pretty well, too. 3rd and 19 for L.A. They're back at the 22-yard line. Going up top, long pass hanging in the air, and Henry Ellard had it and dropped it, I believe. He had it and dropped it, despite the fact that Collier and Williamson were right on top of him.
It looked for a while like Ellard would make the catch because Tim Collier had not seen the ball in the air as they turned around. But Carlton Williamson, number 27, would come over and basically make the save on it.
He was looking into the sun on this.
You bet, looking right back, and it's low over the rim of the stadium this time of day. See, Collier doesn't know where it is right now, and it's Williamson that made another big play.
4th down punt, bounces at the 43-yard line and goes out of bounds. And with 4:03 to go, you can now anticipate the 49ers to keep the ball on the ground, as Bill Walsh likes to do, to use up the clock. 4:03 remaining. The 49ers lead the Rams 38-35.
It's a situation where he usually goes with a tough little runner by the name of Bill Ring in these possession situations. We haven't seen much of him today, but you know, he's nothing fancy. He doesn't break a lot of plays for big gains, but he'll get you the good 2, 3, 4 yards. So more than likely he'll be Ring in there, and he is in there with Roger Craig.
Nehemiah and Clark to the right. But it's Roger Craig going wide. And Craig really protecting the ball, doing everything but smothering it. Reggie Doss and Johnson make the tackle. 49ers were trailing 7-0, tied it up. Rams took a 14-7 lead before the Niners tied it up again, and just before the half, Ferragamo hit Dickerson with a pass and run for 37 yards to make it 21-14. This after a scoreless first quarter. Worshing's field goal made it closer. Dickerson caught another touchdown pass. Montana hit Nehemiah. Ferragamo came back. Montana hit Clark. And then the big play, Ford recovered a fumble, ripping the ball away from Ferragamo in the end zone. Screen pass to Roger Craig. He gets into Ram territory at the 48. It'll be 3rd and short. Eckern and Cromwell.
And there's 3:08.
Using up the clock. This is what Bill Walsh did in 1981 so effectively in the Super Bowl year. Just a reminder that 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following football, except on the West Coast, where it'll be seen at its regular time.
Montana using the 30-second clock, staying in the huddle, letting it run down, trying to squeeze every second, every tick out of it.
3rd and 3 at the 48. Montana under heavy pressure throws it away. Incomplete. The Rams claim it was grounding. Tyler, though, was in range as an intended receiver, so it'll be 4th down.
I almost think there was a foul up in signals that time between Montana and Tyler. Tyler went away and Montana didn't expect him to.
Montana has thrown for 238 yards alone in the second half. And there's Tom Orris. Last time he had to kick the ball away was at the end of the first period. Johnny Johnson and Leroy Irvin are deep for the Rams. Tom Orris. 2:28 to go, so the Rams have another shot. Low snap. He gets it away. And Blackmore right on top of Johnny Johnson. He was right there. Johnson made the catch, but once again, the Rams do not have good field position with 2:19 remaining, starting from the 15. And keep in mind that the Rams have already used one of their timeouts in this half, so they have 2 to go. 49ers have 3. That's the story. 38-35, San Francisco either even or trailing all the way until Dwayne Board ripped the ball away from Ferragamo in the end zone for a fumble recovery touchdown.
And it looks like the 49ers are not going to go to a nickel or a prevent type defense. They've got their base defense in there, 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, but Fred Dean is one of the linebackers.
1st and 10 at the 15. Dickerson up the middle. Eric Dickerson has a first down at the 30. Willie Harper and Tim Collier make the tackle. A 15-yard gain, and so Dickerson has 144 yards, so he's matched what he accomplished 2 weeks ago against the Niners.
And they didn't fool him that time because the 49ers were expecting to run because they had the 3-4.
We have our 2-minute warning. We'll be back, and it should be quite a finish. C. West is riding on the result of this game. 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. The 49ers lead the Rams 38-35. Rams have 2 timeouts remaining. They have a 1st and 10 on their own 30-yard line. Vince Ferragamo having his best day of the year with 5 touchdown passes, tying a Ram record, of which he has been one of the record holders. Ferragamo fires, picked off. intercepted by Willie Harper. And Harper down the sidelines, may go all the way. And he's knocked out of bounds and stopped inside the 10 by Ferragamo, the quarterback.
And the veteran linebacker Harper hanging in there, coming up with a big play at the end of the ball game. Didn't get down on himself. He was victimized by Ferragamo and Mike Barber earlier in the game, but made a big one right here. A blitz this time. See the inside linebacker Horn coming from the left. Good protection, though, for Ferragamo. Harper with a great drop. He's about 12-15 yards deep in the secondary, helping out his cornerback. An excellent effort by Willie Harper to get back in line of that Vince Ferragamo pass.
A 37-yard return for Willie Harper, his first interception of the year, the 14th by the San Francisco defense, and the second of the game. Eric Wright picked off his 5th. He leads the team earlier. Now it's first goal at the 7th. And Bill Ring off the left tackle inside. 1:42 and running to go, and a big game for Willie Harper, the outside linebacker in his 10th year.
Here it is again, Harper. You'll see his shadow right here coming into the picture because he made a good drop, as I mentioned. Very critical for a linebacker to get back and in those hook zones and help out the cornerbacks and the safeties, and he made a pretty good run here. Ferragamo came over and made the save.
His 3rd career interception in 10 years for Willie Harper. 2nd and goal at the 4. Bill Ring again. And we'll have a 1:02 to go, and now the Rams call a timeout. They have 1 remaining. So the veteran Willie Harper quieting down the crowd. 1:02 to go. It'll be 3rd down and about a yard. John Robinson's team has been in every game this year, just about. 5 of the games, in fact now make it 6 out of 8, decided in the closing minutes.
Yeah, they've been here before this year. They've played an awfully lot of close ones, and so they're used to it, and that'll bode well for them. They know how to react in this situation.
Rams, if they do go down to defeat, will try to rebound against the Miami Dolphins in the second game of a doubleheader that many of you will see next week on CBS. So 2 teams fighting for division lead. Miami tied with Buffalo in the AFC East. The Rams, if this result stays, will be a game behind the 49ers in the NFC West. The 49ers next week will play host to the New York Jets, and they have 2 games coming up against the Jets in Miami from the AFC.
3rd down, I kind of predict that the 49ers will throw it here, Dick, because even if they run against them, the clock won't run because the Rams will use another timeout.
3rd and goal at the 4. So 3rd down and 4. Bill Ring close to the goal line and in. Touchdown. And that ices it. First touchdown of the year for Bill Ring.
Bill Ring, the situation player that we told you about. You see it from the ground level. Randy Cross is in there. Jesse Sapolo, the right guard. John Ayers on a pull. Makes the block right there on Nolan Cromwell at the 1. And Ring fell over both of them into the end zone. A good pull by Ayers, number 68.
So Bill Ring, who's the living example of persistence with tryouts with the Raiders, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Canadian League, sticking with the Rams, makes it 44-35, and Ray Wershing adds the 45th point. So this is the highest scoring contest between these 2 teams in their long history. 80 points.
And they did it in 3 quarters. We had a scoreless first quarter. 28 points scored in this 4th quarter so far.
49ers having to play without their free safety Dwight Hicks, who left the club, and getting the job done. We want to welcome the viewers who saw the New Orleans Saints defeat Tampa Bay 24-21 in a comeback. Here at Anaheim Stadium, Dick Stockton reporting along with Wayne Walker. The San Francisco 49ers, who trailed or were tied most of the way, have a 45-35 lead. And this is their icing score following John Ayers' Bill Ring off right tackle, goes in, extends himself for the touchdown. A game in which the Rams held the lead most of the way. And as a result, the 49ers will take over sole possession of first place in the NFC West with a 6-2 record, and the Rams and the Saints will be tied for second at 5-3 at the midway point of the year. Henry Ellard will down it in the end zone for a touchback, and the Rams, with 57 seconds to go, will go on offense 1st and 10. So if 49ers hold on to this 10-point lead with less than a minute to go, this is what the NFC West will look like. And it is still a battle royal.
John Robinson told us before the game that he didn't want to put too much importance on this game to his players and try not to let them think about that race too much, because there's just too much ahead. So they're one game back or one game in front right now. There's still a lot of games left to play.
Usually, in fact, you remember John Robinson last time they played said we want to stay close to the 49ers. We think we can beat them at the finish. But today, in the fourth quarter, the Niners have outscored the Rams 28-7. 1st and 10 at the 20. But this is a game-battling Ram club. And they have made a terrific turnaround. Gordon Jones on the receiving end. Former Tampa Bay Buck goes out of bounds, stops the clock with 50 seconds to go. Vince Ferragamo has been a brilliant performer today with 5 touchdown passes to tie a Rams team record. And Eric Dickerson has had a fine all-round game, 144 yards rushing. I want to thank our technical and production crew once again for a job well done. Our Hollywood CBS cameraman, audio man, Ferragamo drills it complete at the 37-yard line to Mike Barber, the tight end, who's caught 8 passes today.
I think the 49ers, of course, as they should, playing extremely loose. Ronnie Lott, the free safety, is lined up about 35, 40 yards deep. Giving the Rams the short ones. They just don't want the long 6.
Swing it out to Dickerson for a couple. It goes out of bounds. Eric Dickerson caught 2 passes for touchdowns today, the first of his NFL career, scoring by the receiving route. He has 995 yards rushing on the season. So he's 5 yards away from 1,000.
Ronnie Lott, the free safety, as we told you, playing extremely deep. Employed in this defensive scheme right now by the 49ers. The ball is on the 38-yard line, and Lott is standing on the 28, down at the other end.
2nd and 10. Pass to Gordon Jones. Dana McLemore, Ron Ferrari, and Bobby Leopold trap him. 18 seconds and running. So the 49ers with 45 points, second highest output of the year. They had scored 48 in the second game of the season at Minnesota. And now the Rams have used up their last timeout with 10 seconds to play. Join us late as John Robinson, who simply has been an outstanding coach in the NFL in his first year and a great guy, personality, saw his team take the early lead. Executive producer of NFL football on CBS, Terry O'Neill. Senior producer, Chuck Milton. Our game produced by David Dinkins, directed by Bob Daly. And Mitch Goldstein, our associate producer. Michael Frank, broadcast associate Brooks Graham as well. And of course, as always, our right-hand man, Marty Aronoff, up here in the booth. Thanks to everyone.
Thanks to these two teams, put on a great show here this afternoon. This is one of the good games of the year.
For a while, it looked like it was going to be a similar game the last time. Scoreless after the first half 2 weeks ago. 0-0 after 1 quarter here. But 35 points were scored in the first half. And the Rams had a 7-point lead. After 3 quarters, it was 28-17 Los Angeles, and things didn't look too good for the 49ers.
Well, they didn't take the lead until there were 6 minutes left in the ball game at 38-35.
47-yard line, Ferragamo looking for time, in trouble, runs into his own man, being chased by Stover, and Stover gets it. And that'll do it. That's the end of the game. And the San Francisco 49ers have beaten the Los Angeles Rams 45-35. And Brendan Irv will have scores and highlights on the NFL Today wrap-up show after this. For Wayne Walker, Dick Stockton saying so long.
Billy, good game, huh? Good luck,
Once again, the final score, 49ers 45, Rams 35. Don't forget, we have the NFL Today post-game show coming up next.